Good evening, everybody. Mike Flanagan here from InsideBowling.com, and I am joined by a very special guest this evening to kick off tonight's Advancers round, Scott Downs. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
If you haven't recognized Scott Downs by now, maybe you may not be a baseball fan, but Scott had a pretty good Major League Baseball career as a relief pitcher, and we're going to talk a little bit about baseball, but his new love for bowling throughout a game or two, or as long as he wants to sit next to me.
Yeah.
So it's just a pleasure to have you here. We're going to get started with our broadcast, and I know you're excited about this because we've got some pretty awesome bowlers out there right in front of us. We're going to take you over to lanes 21 and 22 now.
Okay.
And we've got Walter Ray Williams Jr.
He's not bad.
right in front of us. We've also got some other really talented bowlers over there, and I'm going to take you through all of them at this particular point in time right now. And let's go ahead and do that as I look through my sheet here. We've got Walter Ray on lane 21. He's the leadoff bowler. Bowling behind him is Jody Westner, and she's a PWBA superstar bowling on that pair. And then we've got arguably the greatest women's bowler of all time on lane 21 as well, with Liz Johnson.
Okay, so you got a good group right there.
Oh, my
There's
goodness
a good group
gracious.
going on
yeah.
right now.
And then we've got on lane 22 crossing with them, we've got Justin Billings, Jacob Yazell, and Steve Novak. So we're in for a real treat just over here on 21 and 22. And we will also go over to 27 and 28 in just a little bit. And I'll go ahead and tell you who's over there. PBA five-time champion Mike Wolf, bowling with Keith White, Ken Abner, John Welch IV, Aaron White, Jordan Bryant. So we're off to a good start here.
We got a good spot. We got a good seat right here for all the action.
We got a great spot. And this weekend would not be possible at the 2017 Bradley Open here in Lexington without our great sponsors that we have. And I'd like to run through them now. We have Hammer Bowling Products. If you're looking for a new bowling ball, make sure you consider Hammer Bowling Products. They've got the makers of the Scandal. They've got the new Phobia coming out. They've got the Rebel series and even that black urethane hammer. Let me tell you, they've got anything for you. If you're a die-hard bowler or even just a league bowler, make sure you go over and check out hammerbowling.com. Consult with your local pro shop, find the right hammer ball for you. Also, Logo Infusion this weekend. You can save 20% over at Logo Infusion with coupon code Bradley17. That's right, Bradley17 will save you 20% over there. And also, New Center Consulting. I don't know about you, Scott, but I've been in many different bowling centers, and sometimes you're like, you know what, they need to upgrade this or upgrade that. And New Center Consulting, give them a call. They can take care of you. And if you're a league bowler and you think your center needs an upgrade, tell the manager at your bowling center to check out New Center Consulting.
There you go. Perfect.
Also, Brooks Electric, big supporters of this event, and they've run a lot of electricity in the Collins bowling centers. And they're just a good group of folks over there, and they sponsor this event. So thanks, Brooks Electric. If you live in the Lexington area and you're looking for an electrical job to be done, check out Brooks Electric. We've got a couple of whiskey brands here as well, of course, here in Kentucky.
Okay.
I don't know if you've had any of these before, Scott, but Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Smooth.
And Fireball Whiskey.
Yeah, smooth as well, but it's not one of my favorites. I like Buffalo Trace a little bit better.
It's kind of like a young
Yes.
people, younger than you and I.
Yes.
Fireball, that's what they do.
And there's no, you're not going to go wrong with either one, that's for sure.
And I think Pitbull sings about that. Let me know in the chat, everybody, if that's Fireball. We also have an interactive chat going on, Scott, right now. Right here, we have 428 people watching. We have 50 likes down below. And we like to get that likes number up because it increases our ranking on YouTube. So if you could give us some likes out there, folks, that would be great. Also want to just thank everybody for coming in and being part of our event again here tonight. And this event has been going on for 38 years. 38 years. 1979 was a big year for this country because the Bradley started in 1979, and I was born in 1979. So 1979 was a good year.
Still just a pup.
I know. Third member of our broadcast team. Boy, all the stars are coming out tonight. We are now here joined also again for a second time today. Danny Collins, welcome back to the booth.
Thank you. I'm here with my buddy Scott. We bowl on Monday nights. He's getting addicted to bowling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm downloading a little video I'm going to send to our team and say, hey, we're on the live stream now.
Perfect.
I love that.
We're probably not going to get many comebacks on that. I'll tell you that right now.
He'll be ready Monday night, though.
After bowling in these conditions, yeah, there's not going to be. It can't get any worse than what it did this afternoon. But I tell you what, I had a blast, and I'm just glad to be a part of, everything that was going on.
Scott Downs, Mike Flanagan, Mr. Collins here in the booth as we are in game number 1, and we were talking about just what a great talented field we have and who we have right here on our cameras. We've got arguably the greatest bowler of all time in Walter Ray, Jody Westner, Liz Johnson down there. I actually had a comment come in today when we were featuring Liz Johnson that said, when did Liz Johnson become so hot? Somebody said that earlier today on Facebook, and thought I would pass that along. Thought that was interesting.
That's interesting. That's throwing it out there.
It just goes to show that when we feature people, the way we light the set just is perfect for people to make comments like that. I'm sure, Scott, you're going to be getting a lot of fan mail now since you've been in this booth.
Exactly.
And
that's why I sat down. I've been wanting some fan mail for the last couple of years, so I sat down here, so now we're ready to go.
That's awesome. So early on here in game number 1, thanks for everybody coming into the chat. We got those likes up to 80. We'd love to get to 100 likes down there below.
Come on, guys.
And I'm going to show you guys something really cool up here in the booth. If you go over to YouTube and you scroll down over here to the section where you go to browse channels, and people are cutting their TV cords and they're getting rid of their satellite dishes and they're going to online pretty much exclusively. And more and more people are looking for YouTube Live. So we go over to the sports section and we can look and see where we rank tonight and all the other sports that are being broadcasted tonight. We've been 1 or 2 throughout most of the weekend, and I'll be darned right here. Here we are, live sports now. We are number 1 right now, thanks to all of our viewers hitting that like button, commenting, keeping the chat going, and we can't thank you enough for that. We are number 1 on YouTube right now.
That's perfect.
We are
football
ahead.
Playoffs don't stand a chance with this right here.
We are ahead of the Baltimore Blast versus the Harrisburg Heat. We are ahead of the men's hockey, RPI versus Dartmouth. And somebody's trying to pirate the Texans-Patriots game right now, but we're still beating them.
Hell yeah, we got them.
So that's pretty awesome. So Scott, tell me, you've had this major league career as a pitcher, and I do want to get into that. But what is it about bowling, and what is it about Lexington, Kentucky that makes you bowl here? I want to hear a little bit about why you bowl here and why bowling now.
Well, this is home. This has always been home. I've got 3 kids that I've been raising here, and even early on in my major league career, this was where we called home base. So Lexington is the place for me to be. And throughout my career, this is where we stayed. And it's a lot to say because a lot of people move down to Florida, move out to Arizona to be able to handle the better elements. The weather's a little bit better in those places around the wintertime. But this was always home, and my wife and I decided early on that this was where we're going to stay and raise our kids, and that's where we are.
And then you've stumbled in to this bowling center, and you've met Mr. Collins here and the family that runs the bowling center.
Oh, it's been a blast. I'd say I got invited to bowl like in July in a league because we were playing golf and it was raining, so everybody's like, let's go bowling. I'm like, I love bowling, let's go, I'm in.
Okay.
And then so I get invited to join the league, and I joined the team, and of course Danny's on the team, and it's been a blast, and we've had fun. I don't know if they regret inviting me in because now I don't miss weeks because I don't have a whole lot going on right now. Bowling is it. And so when Mondays come around, there's a Thursday text going out, and I'm the first one in, and so I've already told them I'm in unless I am out of town. So there are guys that might want to bowl that haven't been able to get in unless they get kicked out. But we've had a lot of fun, and we have a good group of guys that get out there on Monday nights, and it makes it. I tell you what, it makes a lot of fun.
What's it like bowling with this guy, Danny?
Well, he's come along strong. He's a lefty, and he fires it down there strong. Takes all the oil out of play, and then the pins just fly. What'd you have last Monday, a 279?
277.
Yeah.
Had the front 9 going in, and then somebody was talking to me while I was watching football, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. But, I mean, whatever it is. No, it was one of those things. Bowling has always been a fun passion of mine. And
don't put him on the wall, though.
Now that do not put me on the wall. There will be 3 or 4 gutter balls for sure thrown in there. That wall kind of creeps me out. But bowling is a passion. I tell you, I've had a blast. Watching last night and bowling today, it's been a lot of fun.
There's another professional baseball player that's a pro bowler now too. What's his name?
John Burke.
Yeah.
I've been trying, I reached out to my agent to try to see if we can get in touch.
Uh-huh.
He was ahead of me a little bit, so I just want to see what he thought of how the transition was. That's for me being a Major League Baseball player, the transition of being away and being a father as opposed to being an athlete. I want to see how much of a toll it took on him. And, I'm hoping that I get to kind of touch base with him and see what his thought was of why he got involved and how, the schedule of how long it took for him to actually buy into the situation and going pro.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to talk to Walter Ray any? But I know you're going to meet with him on Monday.
I'm going to meet with him on Monday. Yeah, I'm that guy. I signed up for an hour-and-a-half tutorial and greet and meet. Why not, right? I mean, how often do you get to
Have you ever
meet
seen
with
him
him?
pitch horseshoes? I mean, it's one after another, ringer.
I'm a pretty good horseshoe player, but I think he's got me. But I tell you what, I might have messed him up a couple times today because, being a first time, I'm not sure of the dual, the
lane
2-lane.
courtesy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got the look a couple times, like I got the nod. I thought it was me. I think it was for him, and
yeah.
I take full responsibility if I caused him to come off his game a little bit. But I think he's okay. I think he handled it all right.
Yeah.
And I think he knows.
There he is, right
he knows
over
what
there.
he's doing.
Let's get a picture, guys, real quick for Twitter. We're going to look right there. Okay, great.
I'll tell you what, the best part this morning was when I got my lane assignment, he was right next to me, so I got to follow him.
Yeah.
And stare at him like a little kid in a candy store the whole time just to see. But I tell you what, I haven't talked to him, I haven't met him yet, but from what I've seen, he's a true professional and he does everything the right way, and you got to respect that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Talking about Walter Ray Williams Jr. here, and he is up on our split screen. I brought in both screens now so you can also watch PBA champion Mike Wolf. He just won his 5th title at the World Series of Bowling this year using a Hammer product, back with the Hammer staff as well. Plugging a sponsor there. You talk about Burkett, and I've kind of got to know John a little bit. John actually pitched for the San Francisco Giants when I was a really big San Francisco Giants fan. The whole earthquake series and all that stuff that went on. That was when I was kind of hitting my stride, starting to get into sports as a youngster, and I watched a lot of Cubs baseball being from St. Louis, but we had WGN in the afternoons, and that whole Cubs versus Giants thing that year going into the playoffs was pretty exciting with Grace and Sandberg and the rest of the guys. But I fell in love with a guy by the name of Will Clark. I loved Will the Thrill and his swing. And it was something awesome.
I'll tell you what, you won't find one as smooth as that. That's for sure.
And Will and Burkett know each other. And I met John at Bowl Expo a couple of years ago. And one of my goals in life is to get to meet Will Clark, and I think John's gonna make that happen for me one day. So that's really awesome. And John has just had so much success on the senior tour. I really do truly hope you two get hooked up. I will tell you, he's just the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And he competes, and all the guys on tour love him.
If you're going to get into a sport, if you don't like to compete, you shouldn't get into the sport. I mean, that's part of it, is the adrenaline and the thrill of competition. I have a blast doing this. But, yeah, we all compete. You want to compete, and that's the bottom line. Whether you win or lose, you need to enjoy what you're doing and enjoy the thrill of competition. That's why you play sport.
And baseball, there's a lot of baseball players getting into bowling. We saw Mookie Betts as well. And what a talent Mookie Betts is.
I tell you what, he's something special. He's come on strong for Boston right now. I tell you, he could be a superstar there for a long time.
Now, when you pitched in the major leagues, what was your best pitch?
A strike. That's what I always told people. A strike.
Boy, I walked right into that one.
Sometimes, it could be a fastball, it could be a curveball, but it depends on the situation. A good solid strike down and away never hurt anything because there's not a whole lot you can do with that pitch.
You were good at the drop ball, though,
I was good at whatever I can do to try and get off the barrel.
Well, in bowling, the fastball doesn't do a whole lot.
It doesn't work, and I've been told that all day. I've been told, stop throwing it so hard, and I feel like I'm slowing down, but I'm slowing my body down, but apparently my arm's not buying into that, so I'm still throwing it through, especially with these elements. The lane conditions aren't suitable for a guy that likes to throw the ball, with a little bit of velocity.
Speed is generated through the legs in this sport.
Yep. I even bought new equipment for this, and I just, I've had so much fun with equipment, non-equipment. I'm wearing, Converse shoes. It's there's so much involved in bowling that I didn't know about that I'm starting to kind of learn, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, I didn't realize there was. I mean, I know it kind of goes hand in hand with baseball, with mechanics, with you have to do your homework on what kind of lane conditions you're going to do in. It's so I bought in right away, and like I said, I've had a blast doing it, and I'm going to continue to do it for as long as I am allowed.
Now, you got a couple new balls, didn't you, for this tournament? What did you end up getting?
I ended up getting the Ebonite Maverick and the Tyrant 300.
Now, are those sanded, or did you polish them? Or what?
I didn't. When people tell me to sand 500,000, I don't know. I got them sanded, yes. Did it make a difference? No.
Well, you competed today. Take us through your game. Tell us a little bit about your block. Do you remember?
Not good. No, it wasn't good. I did have, the pride game that I had was sitting here in front of the podcast where I had a 234, and it was the highest game of the round, which was round 4.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about round 5 right after that, but I tell you what, it was, I was always told, everybody always told me once the cameras came on, you knew how to work. Well, the cameras were on, and I was able to work a little bit, and I kind of got lucky a couple times in there, but
just give him a little pressure and some audience, and he's ready to roll.
I just enjoyed bowling. It was a lot of fun. And you're going through the numbers right now.
I'm trying to find you here. Did you bowl on the A or the B squad?
I bowled on the A.
Oh, that's right. That's why I can't find
and
you.
It
what was I thinking? So let's just go through your block here. All right, so you open up with 140.
Which wasn't good, first time.
Is this your first tournament?
Yes.
This is your first tournament?
First tournament.
So the first tournament you've ever bowled is like one of the hardest in the country.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
But why not? Right. Why not jump in? Why not jump into the deep end?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Walter Ray's here. Why can't Scott Downs be here? Okay. All right. So you open up with 140. Then you come back with a very respectable 191 game.
Okay.
And then you have issues with 150.
Yeah.
But then you bail that game out with 234.
Well, the cameras came on.
Right here. We put you on the webcast.
Exactly. The cameras came on.
And then you finished up with 154.
Yeah, I didn't make some. There were some spare conversions I didn't come up with right there, which kind of cost me.
So you had 450 for 3 of your games, but you were like 25 over for the other 2.
Yeah.
And this is your first tournament ever on one of the most demanding, hardest lane conditions you're ever going to find.
Why wouldn't you want to do it? That's my thing. Is there was with our group on Monday night, there was a challenge, and so once I heard about that, I was in. I didn't care if I had to qualify to get in, I had to buy to get in. I was going to bowl in this tournament.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
And it's been an experience that I won't forget.
And then Monday you're going to go meet with Walter Ray.
Monday I'm meeting with Walter Ray, either me or my son. My son's gotten into bowling. He's 14.
Okay.
He'll be going into high school next year. So he's not he didn't get the sports gene from me, but he really enjoys bowling, and that's something him and I can communicate with. And so I asked him if he wanted to meet with Walter Ray and do the hour and a half with the half-hour question and answer, and he said absolutely. So that, as a dad, I was excited. I was excited about that.
We just saw Liz Johnson almost leave the 5-7, and then she had some pin come flying out and hit the 5. I played a replay, and then right when we came out of replay, Mike Wolf picked the 5-7. So it looks like they're getting a little tighter down lane, more oil down lane. The ball's not being able to tip into the pocket with as much angle, so we're starting to see some light leaves like a 5-7. So
do you remember when they used to hit the pin so hard it would fly off the pit cushion?
I saw video on YouTube of that once.
Well, they have the pit. They have the pit curtain now that swings in the back, but
they don't do that anymore.
It used to be a hard back thing, and you could just bounce that pin off there. We had people bringing the pins all the way up to the foul line sometimes because they would bounce off the back. I
kind of like the bouncing off the back coming down the lanes. It gives you a chance. Gives you a chance to pick up some of those splits that you're not normally going to get.
Yeah. Nothing's cooler than when you chop a 6-10, but the 6 hits off the back and comes back and takes the 10 out.
Exactly.
It's like bad break, but ooh, a little bonus surprise there. Hey guys, we're up to 527 people watching now, which is the most we've had all weekend.
Sweet.
So
keep it going, guys.
So
keep
this
it
is
going.
Great.
I think that's from our Monday night team.
That is from our Monday night team.
Yeah,
they keep tweeting in, they keep getting in and texting everybody.
Yeah. And we got 108 likes right now, and I'd like to see that number climb up if we can. We've been as high as 400 on our last broadcast. We got a long way to get there, but we're at 108 likes. We did restart.
Drew saying 200 likes, we can do it.
Yeah, that's right. Drew says let's get to 200 likes.
Come on, Drew.
We're at 110.
Throw it out there.
We appreciate it. So I am a huge sports fan in general, and I was talking to you a little bit on the concourse, but I'd like to share a couple of these stories maybe with your viewers, and of course if you have any questions, Danny, we can also hop right in here. But what was your first major league game like? What can you paint a picture for that, or when you got called in, or how that was?
It was a blur, for one. It worked out to where I made my major league debut in Cincinnati, which is an hour from home. So I had people coming from Louisville. I had people coming from Lexington. It was one of those things where I wouldn't draw it up any other way, but it was a little bit chaotic because I'm getting so many phone calls and texts about tickets and this, and here I am. I'm trying to focus on a start that I didn't even think was even going to be possible, for a little while. And but I tell you what, it was one of the, it's an experience that you're not going to, you can't get rid of. It was, the best. I tell her, Ken Griffey Jr. it was his first year with the Reds.
Okay.
So I'm coming in as a rookie, and I get to face him.
Was he your first?
No, he was my. It gets better. My first was Pokey Reese.
Okay.
Right. So I get him, and I'm like, all right,
Here I am.
I'm coming out of Double-A, and here we go. Here's Pokey Reese, and I throw a ball I thought was right down the middle. It's called a ball, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's the difference. Here's the difference. I ended up walking him on 4 pitches.
Really?
2 of them I thought were pretty good, but apparently they weren't.
Meanwhile, the fans are all excited about this new guy coming in, and you throw 4 straight balls.
Exactly.
And
Griffey comes up. He's on deck. Barry Larkin's next. He's on deck.
Whoa,
and I'm like,
whoa. So you got Griffey up second?
I got Griffey. It was Pokey Reese. It was Barry Larkin. Then it was Ken Griffey.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here. I'm starstruck. First off, I got Pokey Reese. Then I got Barry Larkin.
Yeah.
Which you can't talk.
One of the greatest shortstops of all time.
Exactly.
He and Ozzie Smith in the same era.
Yes.
Cal Ripken as well.
The hands and the smoothness that he had was unbelievable. So I've got him coming up.
And Pokey Reese has got some speed.
Yeah.
He's on first.
Yes,
now you got to worry about the speed threat.
Right, and I'm sitting there looking at. I'm still in all of the lights and the crowd above. The second tier they call it. That, that's when you try to get the men from the boys. So they say, you know what I mean. You see that second tier. That's what changes things, and apparently it did. So I threw a ball to Barry Larkin, right down the middle, ball. I'm like, this isn't going to be good. So I throw 5 straight.
You got a visit to the mound
I
yet?
get a visit. Mark Grace comes over.
All right.
Mark Grace comes over and tells me to relax.
Hall of Famer Mark Grace comes over.
You know, so I end up getting it, you know, getting back in the count. You know, I got a swing in there, a foul ball, and I'm like, okay, here we go. So then but before this, I get to 2-0, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm 6 straight, not 5. So I'm thinking I'm 2-0, runner at first. I'm going to walk Barry Larkin. Now I'm going to have Griffey coming up
with 2
first
on.
and second, nobody out. This is awesome. It's exactly how you want to draw it up in your first start.
Yeah.
Which I'm out here, my heart's racing. I have no idea what's going on. So then I get a foul ball. So it's 2-1. I get another. I end up getting it to a 3-2 count. Pokey Reese takes off.
Oh boy.
I get a called strike, maybe borderline inside, first strikeout. Strike him out. The catcher threw him out at second base, and then all of a sudden I went from having first and second, nobody out to 2 outs with nobody on, with Griffey coming out.
Who's your catcher?
It was Joe Girardi.
You got Joe Girardi.
Yeah.
Listen to these names.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm
aging myself.
Your first game, you got Joe Girardi.
Yes.
Former manager of the Yankees.
Joe Girardi and Greg Reed were the two catchers.
You're throwing to Joe Girardi. You face Pokey Reese. You walk him in 4 straight. You got speed on first. You got Larkin and Griffey coming up right behind. Yeah. That's your major league debut.
Yeah. How's that treat you?
All right. Well, I gotta know the conclusion here.
Well, then now Larkin gets strike him out. He was my first major league strikeout, which is a Hall of Famer, so I can be proud of that. Whether it was borderline or not, it still counted.
All right.
And then I get Griffey up, and I get him to ground out to second on the second pitch.
A ground out
to second base on the second pitch. And as I'm walking off the field, Mark Grace comes around, puts his arm around my neck in a stranglehold, and said, "Welcome to the big leagues."
Oh,
and you know what? After that, it was all a blur.
I wasn't you, and I just got chills.
I wouldn't draw it up any other way. I mean, I've got, that was one of the things that I will never forget.
I really appreciate you sharing that story with us.
Yeah, and him coming up and saying that to me, because I hadn't said a word to him during spring training, because I was always taught not to talk during spring training being a young guy. I never left my locker. Right. There's that box. And for him to come up and say that after that outing, that actually calmed me down a little bit. And I was so in awe of that. It just made me kind of forget about anything else that was going to go on.
That's really cool.
If that makes sense. Here I am watching him on TV for years, and here he is giving me a stranglehold and telling me welcome to the big leagues after my first inning.
That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And our folks in the chat thinks it's a pretty cool story as well.
All right, sweet. How many we up to here?
We are up to 540.
Ooh.
You had some friends on the Cubs that won the World Series this year, didn't you? I mean, you knew those guys. We were talking about it Monday and everything. Tell me about some of those guys.
It's just a lot of fun watching guys that you play with and that you kind of help out when they're younger, move up and achieve to get to that next level. And, winning the World Series, that's a level that you're not going to be able to top. And for some of these guys, the amount of work and the amount of effort that you have to put in and day out to get to the pinnacle state of winning the World Series is something you're not going to. It's tough to explain. It's tough to describe, and to be able to put it up. I mean, it's an 8-month process, 9-month process, and to be able to, especially going into Game 7. I mean, I was asked, because I started with Chicago. I retired in spring training with Cleveland. So I had friends on both sides, coaches, players on both sides, and everybody's like, "Who are you rooting for?" I'm like, I just want to see a good series, which is what everybody wants to see. And the fact that it went to Game 7, and you can't get any better than that. to go to Game 7. I mean, I'm proud of what Cleveland did. I'm proud of what the Cubs did. I think for the city of Chicago, it couldn't have happened any better.
If you're just joining us on the broadcast, 2017 Bradley Open, I want to thank New Center Consulting, Hammer Bowling, and the list of other sponsors we've gone over a couple of times, and we'll continue to do so. I'm Mike Flanagan, joined in the booth by former Major League Baseball pitcher and now two-sport athlete just taking up the game of bowling, Scott Downs, as well as Danny Collins, proprietor here at Collins. I call it Family Bowling Center because that just feels better to me, the Eastland Bowl. And Danny, what did you think of that? That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I tell you what, the two sports are hand-eye coordination. You got to let that ball go, just like I guess where you would a pitch. Mm-hmm. And you know, a lot of really good professional bowlers, they turn out to be really good golfers. What are some of those? Mark Roth, remember him?
Yeah, I go current right now. E.J. Tackett, hottest thing going in bowling, is almost a scratch golfer from what I understand. Ronnie Russell went and tried tour trials to try out for the PGA Tour and did pretty well, and he's bowling in the field tonight. So, yeah. And then back in the day, of course, Roth and some of the others. Pete Weber's an excellent golfer, too.
It all goes hand in hand. It's all about mechanics. It's all about timing and rhythm and the field. And, you know, it all runs together. If you can do one, you have a good chance of being able to do, you know, all three or whatever. You know, whatever. If you're comfortable with your mechanics, with anything you do, you can achieve what you want. That's the bottom line.
Now, when did you actually start bowling? Because you have a natural, you have a good approach and a good form. I mean, you must have learned the sport at some point in time. When did you take it up?
My parents bowled in leagues, so I would always bowl in leagues. I bowled in a league up until my sophomore year in high school.
Okay.
But this year is actually the first year I've had my own bowling ball. I normally would just grab an alley ball and throw two-finger, you know, like most of them are, some of them are, not most of them, but there's a few of them that are doing it now and are dominating by doing that. But I would always grab an alley ball and just kind of, you know, figure it out. That was just that was my thing to do to get away from the stress of baseball.
Yeah.
So what's next for you in bowling? Do you keep bowling league?
Yeah.
You know, do you seek more coaching? Do you start a practice regimen? You know, what do you?
I am, you know, I am up for anything and everything when it comes to it. I got invited to go out to Vegas in March for the Nationals, the team.
Okay.
So
right. USBC.
Of course, I'm in on that. I'm like, if I'm getting, it's bowling. You know, it's Vegas, it's bowling, something I love, and then it's going to be, you know, it'll be a lot of fun. I don't know how well I'm going to do. I have no idea, but my expectations are not high at this point, nor will they ever be, because I tend to try to keep things pretty low key and not get ahead of myself too much. But yeah, I'm going out there in Vegas, but I'm going to continue doing the Monday Night League thing and see where that takes me.
And you've been out of the major leagues for 2 years now?
Yeah.
2 years?
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Was it tough to leave?
No, it was not. I always told myself when I've achieved what I've achieved, which, you know, in the scheme of things isn't a whole lot, you know, with rewards and all this kind of stuff. It wasn't about me. It was about the team. I got to be a part of the 2014 World Series with the Royals, and that was, you know, I wanted to experience that. So after that, there was not much more that I needed to fulfill besides winning it, which, you know, the odds of going back-to-back, which they did, but I wasn't a part of that. The odds of going back-to-back is tough. And so when I went to spring training with Cleveland with a clear head, thinking if I make the team, great. If I don't, I'm comfortable walking away. And, you know, it was one of those things where, you know, I took my family into consideration. I asked my kids when it was time what they wanted me to do. Do I want to go to AAA and to continue playing? Do I want to just come home? Because of the travel is so hard on them. It's harder on them than it is on us. So I took them into consideration, and my two oldest ones, which were 12 and 8 at the time, both said, come home. Then it was time to come home. And, and I walked away, and I didn't look back. I threw my last game, and I didn't look back. And it was one of those things where I left on my own terms, which is, in sports it's tough to do with injuries and that kind of stuff. So I don't regret walking away the way I did at all.
Now, did you watch bowling when you were younger and stuff like that?
Yeah. I catch it on ESPN. I'll catch it on whenever Saturday mornings when I'm at 1 o'clock. I'm if it's on, I'm watching it.
This is a question for both of you guys. Then we'll start with you, Danny.
Oh boy.
All right. Who favorite bowlers of all time, just in general? I know that you've dealt with a lot of them running the center and things like that, but just over time, who entertains you? Who do you like watching on TV? You got any names for me?
Well, of course, there's a lot that come to mind, but Pete Weber, always kind of the hothead. He bowled in here on a tournament we had one year. I think it was '94. We had a PBA tournament, and he got so angry, he took his bowling balls, opened up the door, and threw them out into the parking lot, and they went rolling down the lot. Somebody picked those up, but
of course.
I guess Earl Anthony, comes to mind. Just a smooth stroke. And seeing Chris Schenkel announce those growing up, back before we had cable TV, you only had 3 channels, and so I'm 50 years old. There I am, and seeing that on CBS Sports or Wide World of Sports, you would watch bowling sometimes, and it came on pretty often, and it was exciting, and it was right up there against Muhammad Ali and the fights, even Evel Knievel. You remember? I used to be a real big Evel Knievel fan.
They would always televise that.
I was a Super Dave Osborne fan, if you remember him. Showtime.
You guys are going old school.
Yeah.
I like that. But for me,
yeah,
it was, of course, Walter Ray, just watching, because he was on most of the time when I would be watching it, and then it was Pete Weber just because of his antics. Lately, he's a wrestling fan, and the antics that he took with the wrestling and bringing it into bowling, it's fun, and he has fun with what he does, and that's, with anything, that's the bottom line. He has fun. I told earlier today when I was bowling, I'm like, if I strike out, I'm gonna pull a Pete Weber Degeneration X sign. I'm gonna drop it. I didn't, but that was what first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, because that's what you enjoy what you do and you get excitement out of it. You might as well just have fun while you do it. And he does.
He certainly does. It's like a switch when the lights go on, too.
There's a time to mess around, there's a time to joke off, and there's a time to get serious, and he knows how to do both.
He's had a lot of run-ins with the guy we got on our screen right here, Walter Ray, starting to run it out.
Yes, he is.
Seeing a lot of the pro bowlers that have bowled in this tournament and then seeing them on ESPN is exciting, like Brian Himmler. He had a good run there. He was always on TV. He was on TV one time during this event. We were sitting in the bar watching it, and he was on TV, and he was bowling at the same time. I think I told this story last year. And it was delayed, of course, from the week before, but that was kind of cool. He runs our brackets every year, him and his wife.
That's awesome.
They've got their friends.
So he's in the bar watching, and he's bowling at the same time.
Yeah.
I wonder if he got confused. Should I be out there? Should I not?
Yeah.
What am I going to be doing here?
Same thing happened 2 weeks ago with the holiday doubles. Mike Wolf was on TV winning a title while he was competing in the holiday doubles right here. So I do want to check in with everybody in the chat. We do interact with you guys quite a bit. I got a couple of great guests here though, so I appreciate your patience, everybody. We've got some comments about Liz Johnson being a babe. And yeah, Liz is working out regularly, and yeah, she is a babe, no question about it. And we do have a question for you, Scott. And if anybody wants to ask Scott any questions, bowling, baseball, whatever it is, it's a treat to have him in the booth. Or if you have any questions for Danny about the bowling centers and how to run centers and things like that, we'll get to the questions. So if you have a question, Scott, who's the one batter you hated to face? That one guy you would look down at the dirt and say, man, darn, how am I going to get this guy out?
Well, it's funny because he's a lefty, Hideki Matsui with the Yankees. I could not do anything. I couldn't throw. It didn't matter what I threw. I could not get him out. It was so bad one time I got taken out of a game to bring in our closer, who was a righty, to get him out because they knew I wouldn't be able to do it. That's how bad it was. So, yeah, Hideki Matsui was probably right there up on the list. Number one, just big-time number one. I couldn't do anything with it.
Now, would you ever admit that to your coaching staff?
Yeah, they know. Oh, they knew.
And they leave you in against them?
A couple of times they had no choice. I mean, if that was my job was to come in and get lefties, I did okay until it came to him. When it came to him, it was one of those things there was nothing I could do to get him out. And, sometimes you have to accept it and you got to keep trying, but it got to the point where the coaches were tired of watching it.
Walter Ray with 225, Western with a possible 200 game. 195 posted on the board as well as we check in on the scores on this pair as we finish up game number one.
Yeah, Walter Way, he's got tell you what, he's got a knack of getting it done at the end, don't you think? I think he's had a little bit of experience closing out stuff.
Yeah, with the pins not really mattering earlier in the day with the A squad and the B squad, one on burn, one on regular, everybody kind of knew that they needed to find their shot and everything. Tonight, all the pins matter going forward. Right. You're going to see the higher end bowlers
step up.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely, you will. And don't forget, we do have 5 total games for you tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. for another 5 games in the morning with the top 40 returning. And then the top 8 will make it into the the match play portion.
No.
Yeah, I know. we had a question here for Scott that he doesn't really want to talk about. But this person does say, "Hey, I like stirring things up." He's brutally honest. That's what bowlers do.
Just asking about it is stirring things up,
yeah,
and that happens. That happens. I'm going to stick away from that one though.
Yeah, I totally
Everybody,
understand.
comments are, opinions are opinions, and comments are comments, and I choose to keep mine to myself.
Is there anybody? I asked you this kind of earlier about is there anybody that you kind of were buddies with, in the major leagues? Who'd you like hang out with when you had a day out of town? You go eat dinners with, things like that, or anybody you keep in contact with now since retiring?
Yeah, no, I keep in contact with a lot of guys. There's some older guys that I keep in contact with. Torrey Hunter's one of the main ones. Raul Ibanez, who I didn't mention earlier, as one of the best teammates. He might be top of the list for sure. LaTroy Hawkins, Jason Isringhausen. I'll see certain guys around, but it's a lot of the younger guys that I kind of mentored that I want to keep in contact with, just for me following their career, because I feel like I had a little bit of a part of cloning them into what they, mentally what they wanted, what they needed to be, and so there's young guys that I try to keep up with.
Yeah, you had mentioned to me Brett Cecil is a guy that you kind of spent some time mentoring and you still keep in contact with. And me being from St. Louis, big Cardinal fan, Cardinal Nation. Brett Cecil just signing with the Cardinals.
He's going to do well there. Like I told you earlier, he's come a long way, and he'll be the first to tell you that. And he's figured out what he needs to do to be successful, and that's what I'm excited about, watching him mature through the years to get where he is right now.
Through the years, great song.
I'm going to mingle around here and check some customers out. I appreciate being on with you, Scott.
That's smart.
I'll see you Monday night, and I know you're going to be ready too.
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Danny, thanks a bunch, buddy.
Okay.
If you want to come back later, I'm around.
Sure thing, buddy.
All right,
thanks.
That's Danny Collins. What a cool owner.
Yeah.
Just a
you
cool
can't
guy.
get much better than that.
Yeah,
no.
I really like Danny Collins.
When I found out that him and Robbie are both on the team, when I found out, I'm like, this is awesome.
So we've got Liz Johnson can bowl 214, Steve Novak can bowl 210. And it's going to be 209 for Novak. So pretty good scores here on our feature pair that we've had. We'll go check in on lanes 27 and 28 as well. It was a rough game for Mr. Wolf. Lower scoring over here on 27, 28. 170, 144, 147, 178. possible 172, and
I
got
feel
a
him right there.
possible 208 here for Kenny Abner, though. Oh, I'm good right here. Thank you. Thanks for asking.
Good. No, I'm good right now. I've got a little bit of this one left. It feels weird. I tell you what, it feels weird grabbing a beer and drinking it on air. That feels weird. With baseball, you couldn't do that. That wasn't allowed. And so now to grab it, and it's like, oh, okay.
Well, we don't mind.
But bowling and beer go hand in hand, that's for sure.
They do, and we found that out last night during the broadcast as well.
I love it.
I think it's great that, Dave Watka tipped me off. He said, hey, by the way, we were having dinner last night, and he goes, hey, by the way, I just want to let you know, or yesterday afternoon, we had lunch. He said, do you know Scott Downs? I'm like, yeah, Major League Baseball player. He's like, yeah, hey, he's bowling the tournament. I go, what? He's bowling the tournament? He's like, yeah, he likes bowling. And I'm like, man, this is like another Burkett type deal, And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm looking forward to meet him. And, whenever you meet people you don't know, whether if it's a professional athlete, a professional bowler, or just some regular guy that somebody says, oh, my buddy John, you're going to love him. He's a little out there, but you're going to love him. I think you two will get along great. You're always kind of like, okay. But then when we BS'd on the concourse and I invited you to come to the booth, and here you are, you're over here. I just think it's awesome, man.
Dave helped me out a lot. They had a demo. The Hammer had a demo over at Southland the other day, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. So I got to talking with Dave, and he helped me out a lot about, the equipment, and he let me know I didn't realize how much was involved.
Oh, yeah.
And he let me know that there's a lot involved.
Yeah.
And so, I was picking his brain about, what it took mentally, physically to try to make a push at the, at the PBA. And it's like everybody's dream. If you bowl, you want to make it to the top. If you play baseball, you want to make it to the major leagues, whatever it is. So I asked him about that, and first thing he said was, you need to try some regional tournaments first just to see where you stand.
Yep.
So basically telling me don't jump into the fire yet. Get your feet wet and just kind of see what happens. And, but he helped me out a lot with equipment, and just sitting and talking with him was awesome about hearing the perspective of a guy that, that's been bowling for 25 years professionally, to see where his mind is and to see what he's learned and what he tries to do. And that I appreciate every minute I had with him. And he's one of those guys where he said, look, here's my number. If you have a question, text me. I'm in. Call me. So I appreciate that. As an athlete to an athlete, you kind of have that respect.
You'll find that in the bowling world, too.
I've found that out a lot.
Everybody's like a sponge, and they'll just love you to death.
I had 7 coaches down there earlier today trying to tell me what to do, and that's what I was told. You're going to have a bunch of different people coming at you to try to help you out. And
you will.
That's bowling.
And
that's part of it.
And you got to take some of it, and
Absolutely.
It can be a little overwhelming. Somebody will tell you, hey, you want to keep your first step short. Hey, you need to do a 4-step approach. Hey, you need to do a 5-step approach. Hey, your timing's off a little bit. Hey, you got late timing. Yeah, well, that late timing's good. That's what you want now. So it's all over the place. Hey, Liz Johnson, I've had like 5 people comment today that you look beautiful. I've had like 5 people online in here. Liz Johnson is a babe. I'm serious. It's going on tonight. Nice 214. But anyway, Liz is so great. I was telling a story earlier when I first started streaming 3-4 years ago. There was no women's tour.
Right.
And Liz Johnson would be at all these men's events that I'd set up and stream. And we saw each other like every weekend. And I admired her out there competing against the men and doing well. So it was no surprise when the PWBA tour got resurrected that she wins the most majors.
Of course.
She's incredible. And I told her today the odds was 2-1 on her to win the tournament, because whenever we show up to stream and she's bowling against men in a field like this.
The lights come on. She steps up her game, and that's what you want. That's what you want in these kind of tournaments.
She certainly does. And Dave Watka, great guy. He'll help you out with anything that you need, and so will a lot of other guys. The big thing I think with bowling is repetition and practice. You just got to show up to the bowl.
It's the same with everything, and you have to want to put in. You have to want to put in the time and the effort to want to get better. And I do. I enjoy it. My wife's almost like, oh boy, here we go again. It was baseball, now it's bowling.
Yeah.
Am I getting into this again? But I'm like, she understands that I need to have my competitive juices going. It's just, that's my personality. That's the way it is. And right now bowling, it was golf for a little while. Now it's bowling, and she understands it, and she kind of laughs it off, which is funny. But my kids are like, "Are you going again? Are you going bowling again?" I'm like, you all are more than welcome to come hang out, But they're great, and they're all supportive, and like I said, I enjoy doing it, and they're behind me 100%. So that's the icing on the cake.
Just remember, there's no textbook style. The guy that just walked by, Brandon Novak's won this tournament the last 2 years. He's got the funkiest arm swing you can see. The key is doing the same thing over and over again. That's the key.
Repetition.
I also got some really cool little things here.
I like
make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, everybody. Subscribe to YouTube and give us a like. Give us a like down below.
Which way does it go?
Either way.
What's that one?
Yeah, you can go left or right. It's universal. It's the universal greetings right here. Subscribe and like us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Now you're not on social media, right?
No, I try to stay away. I learned my lesson a long time ago, watching and learning from some of the young guys of getting, we were always told this, once you put something out in social media, it's out there. There's no taking it back.
Oh, it is.
And I learned to not get involved because we all get heated in certain moments, and there's a one or two times where you want to regret what you say, but when you say something, it goes away. When you put it in social media, it's there forever. And so I've stayed away, and I'm pretty private with what I do. I'm about my family. I'm not trying to put anything in my family into harm's way. So I've chosen, which was a long time ago. My wife makes fun of me because I don't even have an email.
Oh boy!
I'm like that's.
Do you have a cell phone?
I have a cell phone.
Well, welcome to the world.
I have a cell phone. It's
I can't believe you're sitting in the booth.
Why not?
I mean, with all this, I don't want to be on social media.
Like I'm looking at all this right here. It's still. I don't understand.
He's looking at the chat. He's looking at the chat.
You got live chats going on.
Oh, we
got
do.
Bowling going on.
Yes.
But I'm not. I don't have my own chat channel, whatever you want to call it, to where I can have comments. I can walk away whenever I want.
That's
if
true.
I have my own,
That's
I couldn't
true.
walk away.
That's true. Yeah, I'll tell you what I think is really cool about all this is just to let you know when we live broadcast, we're a little bit different. There's a couple different streaming platforms out there in bowling. The PBA's got Extra Frame, and that's the best of the best bowlers all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the pro circuit. It's more your ESPN type feel.
Right.
And then bowl.com, they provide streaming services as well, and they're a governing body, and you got to watch what you got to say and things like that. And I completely understand that. So I treat them a little bit more as like a news source over there, the way that they broadcast. And then we're out there, we're like MTV here. Anything goes.
Yeah, anything goes.
You're never going to get the same thing twice. We're a little bit like TJ Maxx, too, if you remember that store. It's never the same place twice.
It's one of my favorite, my wife's favorite to go. She likes to go to kill some time there for
At
sure.
TJ Maxx. So you fit right in here, and we're not big enough that anybody's going to take anything that you say and blow it up. Unless you want to start getting into leaking a bunch of that stuff they were asking about in the chat, then I can submit that to TMZ, and we can blow this thing up real big.
Not my place. That is not my place.
All right, well, if you want to, I've got $2 to get our subscribers.
You don't have there's not enough money involved that would get me to make my comments on a lot of these things, because it's just it's the way it is, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut, and I'm going to stop at that.
So here, I'm going to ask the chat. For some help. Let's help Scott out in his new endeavor.
What do I need to do?
For bowling
Equipment.
So let's
often?
So if we just be very broad with this, that they'll be all over the board.
Okay.
So I want to narrow the question.
Okay.
Best tip when you were kind of starting out bowling. Best tip that you could give Scott about bowling, and we'll read some on the air, and just your best tip. I don't want a novel. I just want some simple things that he can do that you think would work good for him. Obviously, his ball speed's a little bit higher. He's trying to get that down a little bit. Just some things that he can do.
I just hope somebody doesn't say just stop. stop bowling.
No,
that won't happen.
No, they won't. They're not like that.
I'm going to keep trying.
All right. We'll see what they say. We're on about a 10, 20-second delay.
Okay,
so
I got you.
It's not an instantaneous.
We're up to 560.
Which is incredible.
Watching right now.
And we got 151 likes. We'd love to see that number get to 200. Best tip is to learn all the different patterns.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would also encourage you to learn how to read a lane pattern.
Yeah.
Like on a piece of paper.
It's like a scouting report. I was never a big fan of that either. I played by feel. I pitched by feel. I bowl by feel, and it's probably not one of the best things to do with bowling.
Bowl at least 3 times per week, Scott.
Okay.
Practice, of course. To be the best bowler, ask Trevor Roberts. He's only 20, but he's great. All right, Trevor Roberts.
Okay.
We need to keep an eye out for that.
All right.
Keep your feet slow.
Yeah.
Best tip would be to get a spare system that works for you, which is true. There's multiple ways to attack all the different spares.
That's the key. That with this tournament in particular, that's the key that I found was you have to make your spares. Because strikes don't come very often, and if you make your spares, you can at least score and be competitive. But there was I missed a couple silly spares on and off here that might have cost me a little bit, but you know what, that's part of the growing process.
Work on spare making. Make sure your body's warmed up properly. This person says, good hearing and seeing Scott. Remember him back at PRP.
That's right.
Where's
right.
PRP?
That's in Louisville, Pleasure
Okay.
Ridge Park. I'm actually, that's where I went to high school. That's where I pitch. I'm actually helping volunteer as a pitching coach there for the next. I did last year, and I'll be there for the next couple of years. I have a nephew that is a junior he's a lefty, and I'm kind of mentoring him and working with him a little bit, and they should be pretty good. They should be really good these next couple of years, and it's going to be fun. So I look forward to seeing you guys come. If y'all want to come hang out, go watch some baseball.
Justin C says, I'm no expert. Keeping your arm swing loose is key, and just have fun. Spares are important. Strikes are bonuses. Bowling is better than the Patriots-Texans game. USBC.
We're actually watching that right now. Too.
Yeah.
That's what's funny.
USBC Rule 31, Scott.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know that rule either. I'll have to look that up. Do what works best for you and do what's natural and improve on it. Drill EBI products. A lot of Ebonite International fans here in here. Just have fun. Keep practicing and learning what the lane conditions are like, and do the same thing all the time. Trevor's down on 23 and 24. This must be him
he's right here.
Yeah, this must be him.
He's right here.
Yeah, so we'll watch him bowl. Best tip is practice 7 10-pins at a row. Throwing at the 10 pin.
I got you.
Kyle Troop is on the featured pair right now. You do see him. Don't watch Liz Johnson or similar females when bowling. That's a complete joke.
Yep.
Keep grip the ball too tight. So probably don't grip the ball too tight.
Now they're getting crazy.
Yeah, you're a lefty, so you're already ahead. Roll some motive pieces.
The best advice that I heard that we read right here was both of them said have fun.
Have fun.
And that's the key, is having fun, because once you lose the fun and being a kid, there's you're losing a lot of passion for any kind of sport you want to play. So I'm going to take the have fun advice as number one, and then we're going to go from there. We're going to practice on all kinds of stuff. So I may be bowling 3-4 times a week. I don't know. I'm going to give it what I can.
We've got some incredible bowlers here in front of us. This is Mitch Beasley. He just won his first professional national tour title last month at the World Series of Bowling, and that's Mitch Beasley. And he gets amped up. He's fun. And I was doing an impersonation of the way that he talks on the air last block, and I went down to him and did the impersonation to his face to make sure that he didn't hear it from somebody else and make sure he was cool with it. And he actually wants to get in the booth sometimes and talk to himself. Because I do the impersonation of him. So I'll try to.
He's going to third person you right there. I like
exactly.
that.
He sure is.
That.
And down there bowling with Mitch on lanes 21 and 22 right now we have Josh Mitchell. We have Brandon Novak, Mike Eaton, Blake Mushin, Chris Vi, Mitch Beasley. So you've got quite a group of bowlers down there. Brandon Novak looking to win it for the third time in a row.
What lane's he on? Lane's Novak on?
21 and
There you
22.
go. Okay, there he is.
So I'll help you out. I'll let you
Okay.
know when he's up, and
Okay.
you can check out his arm swing. So we'll keep it here for a little bit, and then we'll go over 27, 28. Jason Ushwal has now joined us on the broadcast, tournament director. How are things going, Jason?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Nice crowd, obviously. Great numbers for us this weekend, and top 132 out here right now.
Top 132, that is a fact, and we've got 576 watching right now, 162 likes, so the stream's been real strong.
We're moving up.
Real
Moving
strong.
up.
And we've got, this has been enlightening for me to talk with Scott here a little bit about baseball and getting into bowling. I enjoy having people on the broadcast in general that don't know a lot about bowling. I got to stream an event down in Texas where I got to work with a student on the webcast that never had been to a bowling event ever, and he was producing my show, and I put him on the air, and I was teaching him things like what a Greek church means and what a bucket means and just the very simplistic things about bowling, and I really enjoyed it. So this has been a real treat for me. Scott's obviously a little more advanced than that young gentleman.
Not at all, but I'm just going to say you've already gotten it. You're doing a good job. Keep it up.
Oh, yeah.
Right away. You're already in there.
Jason,
so.
you're doing a good job.
Yes.
Keep up the great work.
Yeah, I appreciate the feedback. My tired eyes can't see that far right now, so
You're at an angle. You're at
Yep.
an angle, and it's been a long day and a half, 2 days.
yeah, it's worth it though.
It's
You know,
right.
to see this type of crowd, caliber of players, everyone enjoying themselves from Friday through to now. That's what I work in bowling for. So
Mitch Beasley was, I believe he was in the Air Force. He was in the military for sure, and he retired early at 39 so he could follow his dreams and bowl.
What lane is Smallwood on? Do we know?
He's down off to the right. He's over on 29 and 30.
There you go. 29 and 30, heavy weapon, 0-1.
I love everybody's names in the chat. I love that. So this is Chris Vi, by the way, throwing it to spare. Chris Vi is one of the best up-and-coming bowlers, younger bowlers. He's a two-handed style. See him right here on your screen. And last year he finished second in the tournament.
he did.
To
Runner up to Brandon Novak.
Brandon Novak. And they're actually bowling together on the same pair here now. So we'll get a chance to check them out.
What do you think the percentage is of two-hand bowlers now compared to what it was, say, 10 years ago?
Oh boy.
It's
Okay, so I'll have to answer that as just take the two-handers 10 years ago,
Yes.
and how much has it increased since then? That would be like buying Facebook stock when they first went public.
I know it's unbelievable. I mean, it's
multiplied.
like 1 out of 4.
Yeah,
1 out of 4 bowlers are now going two-handed,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
is not easy to do,
And
especially in lane conditions like this.
Here is Mitch Beasley, and the thing about Mitch Beasley, I covered the guy for a couple of weeks. I've been watching him for a long time. He loves to move left and just launch that ball and keep throwing it out to the right. And there's Mitch runs over the rack for a 9-pin, and every time you can see with the emotion, he lets you know what happened.
Yeah.
Either it was perfect and he's got a strike, or
Body language says a lot. I'll tell you what,
Absolutely.
body language says a lot. And that's the best part about bowling is you can watch somebody bowl and know what they did without seeing exactly what the results were. And I'm the same way. I'll smack the floor if I know as soon as I throw the ball, and I know I'm going to leave 4 pins, 5 pins. I know it's going to be bad. So we're all guilty of doing the same thing.
Scott, I got to ask you, what was your first time experience bowling the Bradley this year?
I loved it. Actually, it started off as a bet
Yep.
of you couldn't average this, you couldn't do that, to another guy on our team on Monday nights, and for being a first tournament, I was always, this will be the hardest one you bowl, but the turnout, I tell you what, the support and everything that has come involved with it, it's been awesome. It's been a great experience, and I look forward to doing it many years from here, that's for sure.
Awesome. We obviously love having you out, and I know you bowl with Danny on Monday, so definitely a drastic difference from bowling on something set up easy for Mondays to what this is. And I think if I'm right, the guys came out and tried out with you.
They did. We
Yep.
the whole team came out. We all did the qualifier, and none of us qualified, of course. But I had already told them I'm getting in no matter what. I'm going to buy in. I'm going to qualify, whatever it takes, because I wanted to experience. Because I've heard it was the toughest track that you're going to face if you ever, whatever tournament you want to bowl in. And this is my first one.
Yep.
Like I said, it can't get much. I feel like I held my own. It wasn't great, but from what I was told, it's not going to get any harder than what it is right now. So I'm actually looking forward to that.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to somewhat easier conditions.
I would say on a positive, from bowling on something brutal like this, going to league on Monday, your mark's going to look like a mile wide open.
Heard.
So
I mean, I feel like I was missing by a board and a half, and it wasn't even the board and a half felt like it was a mile and a half.
Yeah.
And, that's what I'd been told coming in. That's what I expected. I had zero expectations going in. My goal was to, of course, get to the second round.
Right.
But it didn't work out. You know what? But I gave everything I could, and I'm not going to be upset. I actually didn't bowl bad, but it wasn't good enough, and I'm okay with that.
Good first experience, though.
Absolutely.
Moving forward.
Absolutely. But to the experience and watching some of the guys that are in this tournament is awesome. Like I said earlier today, I get my lane assignment. I'm next to Walter Ray, so I get to follow him around for 5 games. I'm like, what kind of experience? You can't take that away from me. That's an experience where if you're a bowler and you're a bowling fan, that's something that you would be like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's enough in itself.
Yeah.
Just to be able to follow him as opposed to just bowling in a tournament. But so I think I might have messed him up a couple times by kind of walking out a little bit early. But that's something I'm going to get used to. I'm learning, so I'm going to apologize to him now. But I've actually got to set up for he's doing a meet and greet over at Southland on Monday.
It's I think it's here on Monday.
Or I'm sorry, here on Monday at Eastland. I'm going to say
here
that.
At Eastland.
And I've signed up to do that.
Yep.
I'm either going to do it or my son's going to do it, but I'll apologize then face to face about today. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But just watching him bowl, I tell you what, watching him bowl and watching some of the guys bowl, and it's been fun. It's been a great experience.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure having everyone come down and be able to, again, like I said, watch the quality and caliber of player and how
it's
they
unbelievable.
Approach the shot, the lanes, and everything that they're doing out there to compete.
Just the fact that they can, some of the ones that move the ball so well, that's what gets me is I end up going my last 3 games trying to throw basically a dead straight ball at an angle. And to watch some of these guys be able to move the ball the way they are is so impressive and so, for me, fun to watch. And I'm in awe. I'm still learning how to get it to move like that. And that's one of the things where I guess if you're a new bowler coming up, just being able to watch that is unreal. It really is. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a good experience to see.
100%.
Couple of things here as things are starting to kind of develop. We've really got some really good players in front of us on these featured pairs. We were just watching Kyle Sherman over on lane 28, a good youth player from the St. Louis area. He actually bowled my first IB Open when he was 13 years old. Crossed with Jeff Riggles at that event, and Kyle has gone on to be a collegiate All-American, junior Team USA, just competed in the team trials, finished in the top 20 if I remember correctly, and he's over here throwing at a 10-pin, sent a bird dog messenger in front of it. We've also got Mitch Beasley up on the left side of your screen. We've got so many great bowlers. Brandon Novak, I watched go strike, spare, strike. He's won the tournament the last 2 years in a row. I'll point him out when he's on the screen, Scott, so you can get a chance to look at him.
Yeah.
And then we've got a bunch of questions here in the chat, and they're actually making me laugh, too. They're talking about Feeding Frenzy in here, who always prays for all the bowlers. Very genuine, nice guy. See him on all the webcasts, and somebody's asking him, I hope you're praying for the bowlers because they need your prayers right now. And they've got a couple comments in here I want to catch up on about Tony Lambert being the first and only two-handed bowler that was nationally known before all these others came along. Very, very true. Tony Lambert also the only person to win this tournament 3 times. He's won it 3 different times. And the Bowler Show says, let's do a drinking game. Every time somebody comes in new and asks for the pattern list of scores of where a bowler is, then you have to drink. So pretty funny.
I would owe at least 5 or 6 just from signing up this morning.
And Jason, I do want to ask you, I've been meaning to ask you this. What can you divulge about this pattern and let the folks at home know about it?
It's brutal.
Okay.
I almost used the Mike Flanagan terminology that it was the dark cloud pattern out there.
Okay.
Lengthwise, it's not anything crazy, to be honest. Typically, we keep it between 43 and 45 feet, but it's the volume that makes this pattern difficult. You're looking at almost 2.5 to 3 times the regular oil that's put on the lane for a league shot. So most league shots are playing 16 to 18 mils. We're putting out there 38 to 45. So, it used to be an ongoing joke.
That says
It used to be an ongoing joke that they could see a rooster tail coming off the bowling ball as they threw it. And the other thing, it makes you very speed sensitive with the shots out there. So not only are you having to split a board, like you said earlier, Scott, you're having to be very speed conscious. And to me, as a bowler and a lifetime bowler, that's one of the hardest things that you can maintain is a good, consistent speed. So I would assume very similar to playing baseball and pitching.
Yep.
So control with the speed and being patient.
That's the key.
Those are the keys with this shot.
And that was the key for me, is being patient. It's whatever. Pick up your spares. That's what I was always told. Pick up your spares.
Yep.
Just a few minutes ago, too, guys, just to let you know, we went over 600 viewers. We're hanging out at 588 right now.
Come on, viewers.
That's so awesome. We do have 588 people watching now. It doesn't take much to walk over there down below your mouse. Just walk that mouse down a little bit. Hit that little thumbs up for us. Let's see if we can't get to 200 likes.
What are we at right now?
We're 172.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll be there in about 10 minutes. And that's pushing. I'm saying it before that, but we're going to challenge them right now to see if we can get it before 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to head over to the sports channel on YouTube and see where we rank. We were number 1 just a little while ago. Let's see where we rank now. Let's see where they put us. We are now down to 2nd because someone is streaming the Texans-Patriots game. But that's still pretty good. We're ahead of 2 other New England Patriots versus Texans broadcasts out there. So we're hanging in there against the NFL. We're hanging in there right now. So give us those likes so we can get ahead of the NFL.
Did that answer the question enough, Mike, on the shot?
Yeah, I think so. So people have just been asking, how many mils, how long is it, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing as well is we change it up every year. I'm not trying to be evasive with giving a more accurate answer. But when I inherited the tournament and Danny Collins and Pat were nice enough to give me the opportunity to run with this event, that kept it the same every year. Personally, I'm a big advocate for change of the shot. It always makes it new and fresh. It's not going to give someone a unnecessary advantage. And not like this shot is always going to line up for one player. But if someone does really well one year and you keep it the same, typically they at least can line up better. Mm-hmm. Doing something new every year, slight modifications with volume and length, width at times of the shot, loads forward and reverse. It's always going to keep everyone guessing, and it should make it as even and fair as possible.
That's the way it should be. I like that.
Kyle Troop looking for strike there. Doesn't get it. Opens up double spare. Now another spare possible. He cut his fro. He normally has a huge fro when he bowls. Cut it off. Said towards the end of the year wasn't bowling so good. Wanted a fresh new look. So
superstition.
Yep.
Superstition is in every sport.
His dad is one of the legends of the game. Guppy Troop on TV used to wear all the really outrageous and loud pants and shirts and things like that. And Kyle's followed right in Guppy's footsteps.
That's
Kyle
awesome.
actually won the Inside Bowling Tournament 2 years ago.
He kind of, with the hair, I like it because he kind of reminds me of Bob Ross. I don't know if you remember Bob Ross, the painter.
You know what's so funny?
Bob Ross had that. He had the hairstyle, and that's awesome.
He works with, he's sponsored by Storm Bowling Products, and they did a video with him dressed as Bob Ross.
That is awesome.
I'm not kidding.
That is awesome. I pitched with long hair for many years, and so for me, hair is, when you see a good hairdo, you run with it, and I like that. Bob Ross, that's my favorite.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me with hair, I've got to go with a more aerodynamic look.
This is him right here.
Perfect. See, just like it. I mean, to a T.
Look at that. That's him.
I love it.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't know if you've ever watched Bob Ross.
Oh, absolutely.
But it is the most relaxing. How he can bring life to paper or canvas like he did was unbelievable, and I think he can do it as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's got a bowling ball right there that he painted.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put a happy little tree over here, and let's put a little snow on this tree.
I tell you what, his happy trees they came out of nowhere, and it was awesome. I don't know. I've tried it. It doesn't work.
And
I can't bring out a happy tree.
I got a little bit of brown left.
Yeah.
Let's mix that with a little bit of black over here, and let's make ourselves a little squirrel. Let's put a funny little furry little feature over here.
And then he does a little. He did that stream. Where, he found a way to put a stream in there everywhere. There's a funny bush. There's a little light green bush that comes out. No, he was, but yeah, that's the first thing that reminded me of when I saw him bowling is the Bob Ross hair.
Well, you should be in marketing, man.
No.
Yep. I think that's your new calling.
Yeah.
Bowling and marketing.
I'll try whatever. Like I said, I have nothing but time right now.
What do you watch other sports? Like, do you follow any other sports religiously?
Yeah. No, I mean, not religiously, no. I mean, I follow college basketball, college football.
Here's Novak, by the way. This is Brandon Novak, kind of a funky arm swing, but he's won the last 2 years.
Okay.
He missed the head pin to the right on the last shot on the right lane. Now he comes in high.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, he's got 93 in the fifth right now.
I've been there as well, done
possible
that.
Spare here. But anyway, back to the sports you.
No, I follow everything.
Okay.
I've never wanted to get into fantasy anything.
Okay.
Again, I stay off of social media, and for me, fantasy stuff with playing baseball always took away from playing baseball. Like in September, when teams were out of it, all they focused on was fantasy, and I didn't. As an older, I didn't. I wasn't fond of that, of course. But to each his own, I guess. The kids are going to do what they're going to do, but that was something that I never got involved in. But I enjoy watching, and I'll bet on a game or two here and there, but. Nothing crazy.
I have something for people in the chat. I don't know if you guys are NASCAR fans or not. Do you guys watch much NASCAR?
Not too much for me.
We are up over 200 likes, by the way. Good call there.
212.
Guys. Thank you, everybody. But Carl Edwards, at an early age here, is retired from NASCAR. Just up and quit. He said his family and his health and well-being. I watched that press conference. That was shocking to me. Carl Edwards is from Missouri, where I'm from, Columbia, Missouri to be exact, and cousin Carl not racing anymore.
Again, that is tough. That's tough on a body to do what he has done for so long. And again, his main thing was he wanted to walk away healthy. He wanted to walk away for his family, and you can't question that. You can't put that in the question because that's the most important thing for him. He enjoyed racing. It was he said it was time for him to get out, and he was healthy, and so I give him kudos to that because he walked away on his own terms, and he's going to be able to enjoy his family from the time being.
I think you're starting to see a lot more sports players do that as well. Even Calvin Johnson last year for the Lions.
Yep.
I mean,
health
arguably one of the best receivers in the game, besides that he's walking away.
Yep. Marshawn Lynch.
True.
No, it's sports are
Barry Sanders was the first, I think,
there you
right?
go.
Yep.
And he was, sports are so strenuous on your body that unless you play them, unless you play at the highest level, it's tough to understand. But you don't want to be forced out of playing what you love. If you have the option, you want to be able to walk away from the game that you've played or the game that you have passion for on your own. You don't want to be forced out, and that's what a lot of these guys are doing now. They've come to where it's time, and it's their family's more important, and you got to give credit to that because it's tough. It really is. It is tough to do.
Well, and that's always great, putting a value on family first.
Yes.
I think that always should be the way.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't or aren't gifted that opportunity.
Right. A lot of guys' careers end because of injuries more times than not, and like I said, to be able to do that on your own, to walk away when you're healthy, that says a lot.
Yeah.
We do have a standings update. And if you've been watching over on InsideBowling.com, you would have seen it refresh on your screen. Our tournament leader after the first game is Brian Robinson. bowled 247. Brian Wallace in second, bowled 236. Mitch Beasley, 233. Daniel Dino, 225. 3 people bowled 225, actually. Doug Aston as well, and Walter Ray Williams Jr. We saw it right here on our feature pair. Brian Dennis, 223. Jeff Fair, 2009 champion of this event, 221. Austin Bolds, 218. Brandon Novak, 217, along with Brian Wallachek. So you can check that out on Inside Bowling. And you can also see that 31 players bowled a plus game.
A little shout out to Kentucky bowlers right there with 3 of the top 5.
What is the cut after tonight?
We'll cut from 132 to the top 40.
Okay.
Because of the great turnout and the phenomenal support this year, we'll actually be able to pay an additional 9 people that are not going to go to tomorrow morning. So genuinely thankful for all the support from the bowlers, the people watching at home, the questions I've had on Facebook, what Mike's had on the live stream, and we only hope to get bigger and better to see more people, more money go out, and as it grows, maybe that cut can get a little bit larger as well.
Been getting some shout outs here.
I like this.
Social media is blowing up.
We're up to 216.
Yeah, we are. We got the likes going
You
on
might
now.
be up to 300 before this game ends. We're in the 7th frame of the second game, right?
We might get there.
I mean, I don't see why we couldn't.
Yeah, Scott Novak's up again over there right now, lane 22. And like Mike was saying earlier, he's had a phenomenal last season and a half. He's done really well in the PBA recently. Won the all events for the Eagle this year, didn't he, Mike?
Yeah, that USBC Open Championships tournament, Scott, that
Yep.
all the people go and bowl all the time.
Okay.
Thousands upon thousands walk in, and they bowl 9 games. They bowl singles, doubles, and team event. The event you're going to go bowl, out of everybody that went last year, he was number 1.
That's awesome.
Didn't he go sheet to win it by 1?
I think so.
Yep.
See, that the funny part about bowling for me is the lingo.
Yeah.
I'm hearing this lingo,
Yep.
the front this, the
Yep.
back that.
Uh-huh.
You just said the sheet. I'm like, what? What is that?
Yes. So when you go sheet, let's just say you've got like spare, strike, open.
Uh-huh.
You look at your buddy and say, "I'm going sheet."
Striking
out.
I've done that. I mean, not in this tournament, but. All right, so now see that's a new one I've learned.
Yeah.
Something I'll use. I might use that the next time, and if I do, I'll tweet you. I'm
Perfect.
wait. I'm not on Twitter.
Yeah,
so I
no,
can't
you can
tweet
get on there. You can get on there.
Yeah. Like I said, Brandon's done amazingly well. I think he even finished 3rd or 4th at the Pro Cup this year. One of Billy Eiselt's tournaments. I mean, he's done amazingly well. Obviously, back-to-back champion here. We even put in a $1,000 pot, which is still running this year, for the first person that shoots a perfect game, if any,
in this tournament.
And they would get $1,000 cash. And last year,
I'm live here.
last year he took that home as well. So
Yep, $1,000
I'm in.
last year, 300 game.
I'm getting called in from the bullpen over here.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my Vegas partners coming out. He said he needs a lefty to come in. I don't know. He must be. I don't know what he's doing if he wants me to come in, but.
you're not a left-handed bowler as well, are you?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's what made it so hard. That's
So
what
now-
I've heard. This lefty track is tough.
I'll give you some more bowling lingo. So what you bowl on typically at Southland, I would consider China. So super easy. So not only do you bowl on super easy, you bowl on the easy side of the lane as well. So,
But see, that I heard in this tournament, being a lefty is they've made it tougher. Is that? Am I right on that?
in the past, that is something that they did. When I came in, I've always again been a big advocate for as even as possible.
Right.
So both sides of the lane that we put out are identical.
Okay.
In a
Well,
way,
I think it was harder.
In a way, I agree with you. I mean, typically there's never as many lefties as there are righties, and that track's going to play a little bit slicker.
Yeah.
So
No, they were saying, the lefty track is a little bit harder than the righty because I guess in the past, lefties have dominated the tournament, so they made it just a little bit. And being the first time in this tournament, I wouldn't know if it was or not, or it wasn't. Right. But for me, experience it wasn't easy.
no,
There were some guys saying that it was a little easier than it has been in the past.
yep.
but I wouldn't.
And that came down to volume, like we were talking about earlier.
Right.
The volume's a little bit less this year.
Right.
So it plays a little bit more open until the transition comes as they jump through the pairs.
Right.
So.
But I tell you what, I wouldn't. It was so much fun. I don't care if it was hard or not. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I've always seen lefties have it a little easier. I'll give a little shout out to my kids. They're both left-handers.
Well, there you go. There's always hope.
Ironically, my daughter bowls right-handed.
Okay.
And then my 8-year-old son has decided he's a two-handed lefty. So not only is he got the left side, but he's bowling two-handed as well.
Let them pick their own paths.
Oh, yeah.
That's the main thing, is let them pick their own paths.
I got caught up over here in the chat. Help me out. I'm totally lost, Jason. What game are we in?
Second.
This is game 2.
This is game
Yes.
2. I think
I confused myself because I've got a game 3 graphic up over here as well.
we're game 2, I think.
I think it's 2.
I'm just making sure because I don't know why I have a game 3 graphic up. I normally don't pull it up that quick. So something told me to do it. Maybe I'm just losing it over here.
But it's been a long day.
I've been here
It's
since
a long day, long
time did I
night.
get here,
What
8:30?
time did you get out of here last night? Probably 2:30?
2 o'clock in the
There
morning.
you go. You're here at 9 o'clock this morning, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I had to get.
Oh, he's in good shape. He's
It's a
beast.
long day.
He's a beast, and he got a couple more hours sleep than I
Got a
did.
couple
So
more.
he's in,
There you go. These days get long, I tell you that.
Normally, I bring a guy with me. Normally, Matt Turek's with me. He's my producer.
Is he sleeping in?
He sits here and does all this.
Okay.
Gets all the cameras set up, and then all I have to do, I usually walk around with that wireless camera, and I put my earpiece in and walk around with the wireless mic. But Matt couldn't make it on this one, so I'm
So you're
kind of
solo.
Yeah, I am.
Solo. I like
That's why this is so great that guys like yourself and Jason and the rest of the crew are coming in to
No, it's
give
been
me
fun.
some.
I've been glad to be a part of it. That's for sure. I wasn't good enough to get involved, but now I can actually watch and still, like, I came out last night to watch the doubles, and the talent and the strike percentage that I was watching was unbelievable because I haven't seen something like that before. But this is one of the tournaments where I was going to be involved, and I wanted to watch, I wanted to participate, and I've gotten my money's worth out of it, and I'm sure all these guys are doing the same, getting their money's worth, and they're wanting to try and move on to the next level for sure.
yeah, I agree. I just got confirmation for you, Mike. It is definitely game 2. They are starting to move into game 3.
Yeah, we're getting close. We're in the 8th right here in the feature lanes. Is that right? The feature lanes right
Featured
here?
pairs, yeah, featured pairs.
Like you said, Scott, last night was a lot of fun.
It was.
Something a little bit different. Mike will tell you, last year we did a singles version. And it was a little risky, honestly, to change something to make it different from what someone's used to all the time. I think the singles has been running as a prequel to the main event for 15, 20 years.
I like it.
But, I made a judgment call, and I thought we weren't getting enough people. We had expectations for maybe 30, 40 teams of doubles, and blew that out of the water with 80 teams.
It worked. Your expectations and your changing things up, it worked. I mean, would they have 80 right? 80?
Right.
Because I was looking into getting
79,
in.
yeah.
I was looking for a partner last night just to bowl in it.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to bowl with me because I wasn't good enough, but that's part of it. But no, at the time, I think they were just over 70.
Yep.
So just the turnout, like you said, for this tournament has been amazing.
Yeah.
And for me being a first timer, it's been fun to be a part of.
Yeah, it's like I said, phenomenal support from everyone. I can't thank everybody enough for the help, the support. I obviously want to give a little plug to the sponsors. They've done an amazing job. Brooks Electric locally, those guys are phenomenal. UAS, Classic Products. Logo Infusion jumped on this year, Brandon and his team, and I can't thank Glenn Hartshorn enough with New Center Consulting. Known him a long time and such a great advocate for bowling. So all of them, plus the bowlers, they've just helped everything that we can do. We couldn't do it without them. So
That's awesome.
And I always typically forget this one, which I definitely shouldn't. If it wasn't for Pat and Danny giving me the opportunity and them running the facility as well as they have, this wouldn't be possible, period. So, you pick up a tournament that's 38th annual, and you make modifications and changes. Sometimes I think Mike would agree it disrupts some people when you make those type of changes. But overwhelming support, and they've all loved the changes that we've made, and the numbers definitely show it.
That's awesome. No, it's been like you said, I mean, like this is my first time, but it's been a great tournament, and any modifications that you have made, it's worked out. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've been very lucky with that. You know, everything that we've done a little different has had encouraging results. We put in the re-entry. They never had that before.
I personally enjoyed the re-entry because I tried to do it.
Yeah,
didn't work, but I tried. Again, it's a repetition.
It is.
If I'm going in, I'm all in. I'm going to go in as long as I could.
Are you a no limit hold'em poker player?
No, I'm a blackjack guy.
Oh, really?
I don't have the poker face. You know, it's funny. We played in a tournament. There was a couple of guys in spring training when I was at the Blue Jays. This was back in probably 2009. We went to the horse track in Dunedin because there was no limit poker tournaments, and we got in. I think it was a 1-2 or maybe a 2-4.
Okay.
I think a $200 buy-in, whatever it was, $100 buy-in. So we sit down, and all these other, the guys who have the hoods on, they got the glasses. We're here joking off and just having fun. And I remember calling. There was a bet, whatever. I had nothing, so I called. So there's a guy across the table looking at me with glasses on. Raise, I'm like re-raise. I don't have anything. I'm like, why not? He goes all in, and I'm sitting there laughing. I'm like, I fold. He read me because I'm sitting there. I'm laughing the whole time.
Right.
So I end up losing, I think, $80 or 80 whatever it was in that hand. But I'm like, I don't take it. That was what he wanted to do. I mean, that was his calling, and I'm like, I'm just here to have fun. I end up winning that tournament. I won $600 in that thing, and I was
won the tournament.
I ended up winning a tournament. Yeah.
Wow.
So sometimes it's not about what you read. It's not about the facial expressions that you read. You just kind of play your cards and see what happens. But that was funny. We ended up walking out, I think, with $500 or $600 on a $200 buy-in. So I was like, yeah.
And having fun with it at the same time.
And I had a blast doing it. That's the same. That's what I've done my whole life, is had fun with what I did, whether it was baseball, cards, bowling, golf. I've never taken it too serious.
That's obviously another great hand-eye coordination sport.
Yeah.
Me and Mike were talking about possibly having a little darts match sometime. So, any darts at all?
I like darts. Darts.
That's 3, Mike. 3 for darts.
Sure,
I like it.
We got a dart tournament coming up.
We might.
It was funny because, Walter Ray's a horseshoe guy. Well, I like to play horseshoes myself, and somebody's like, you should ask him to play horseshoes. I'm like, no, no, not a shot. I enjoyed horseshoes when I was in high school. It's fun, but again, it all comes to hand-eye coordination and repetition. I just like competing in whatever it is, and it's just funny because they're like, yeah, you should ask him. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm getting picked at over here.
There's Kyle Sherman. Kyle can still bowl 226.
We're up to 223 likes, by the way.
We are. Our likes are just cruising along. Look at the scores over there. I'll take you over the other pair. You got to look at the scores over there as well. Mitch Beasley's confused. You can see it on the way he's resting there, lane 21. It's crazy how oil is such an invisible, it's the most important thing, and it's invisible.
Messes with your mind, too. How in the world did that not break?
Yeah.
I'd said that for 8 games. How did that not break? It's funny. You can see the expressions, like we talked about earlier. You can just watch. You don't have to see what results were. You can just watch their expressions and let you know what happened.
I tell you, that's another reason why I love bowling. How many other sports have an invisible opponent?
Right.
Wind is the only thing I can think of ever.
That's right. That's it. It's like, you're competing against yourself, but you're competing against the elements. You're not competing against another team. It's straight up elements, and it's mentally what you can handle.
Very much so.
And it was, I see the frustration, and I understand the frustration.
If you're just joining us, I'm Mike Flanagan, joined by Scott Downs, former Major League Baseball pitcher, retired now, loves bowling, and Jason Ushwal from tournament here. He's tournament director and manager of the bowling center here. It's been great conversation. I've really enjoyed it. I don't know how long you can stick around, Scott, but
I was about to go walk around here in a little bit if that was okay.
I figured that was probably the case.
I've warmed this chair up enough.
I knew it was getting close.
And you might want somebody else to get in here.
So I do have another baseball question for you before I let you get out of here.
Shoot.
Just a personal one I wanted to know. One of the things that I would like to do one day, and I don't know when I'm going to start this, is I'd like to go around and I'd like to see a game in every park. Okay. It's a lofty goal, but I do travel a lot.
Okay.
I think I can make it happen. Can you tell me a couple of your favorite parks, or maybe an experience or two at the parks? Where'd you like to go?
Wrigley. You got to visit Wrigley.
I've been there for a Cards-Cubs game. So
Fenway.
I haven't been to that one.
You can't go to Old Yankee Stadium. That was one of my favorite for atmosphere. The atmosphere-wise at Old Yankee Stadium is by far one of the best ones you would have ever witnessed. Seattle. Get out to Seattle.
Safeco.
Oh boy, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's an unbelievable. Where it is, the area, the park itself is unbelievable. Kansas City. There's really not. There's not.
I've been to Kaufman.
One.
I've been to Kaufman.
Okay, which is since it's been redone.
Yep.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
Very fan friendly. I don't know the name of it. The Mets, the new Mets stadium now.
Yeah.
It is awesome. Very fan friendly. Pittsburgh. I can go on and on. Might as well name all the teams.
All the parks.
Right. There's a couple that I'm not going to name, but those are just for my own.
There were two parks I saw built when I was, watching when I didn't have a lot of responsibility in my life. So those things stick out to you when you don't have much responsibility in life or whatever. You remember those things more and you cherish them. I particularly remember when Camden Yards opened up and they played the All-Star game there, and I think it was a year or two later, Cal broke the consecutive game streak there, and they had it hanging out. That was a special moment.
I mean, being in the East, that's a nice stadium for sure.
And then the other one was when the ballpark at Arlington was built, and they unveiled that bad boy down there.
Yeah. No, you're not going to find a bad one. I mean, there's one that I, in particular, if I never went back there and never pitched again, and it was the Coliseum in Oakland.
Okay.
That was, for me, I didn't like it. It felt like it was crooked. The mound, everything was off. It was, it was one of the places where if I never had to go pitch there again in my life, I would have been happy.
That's just a weird organization out there.
Great. No, it's a good organization. The organization is, I like the A's organization, but the fact that later on in the year it's a football field, I know that, I'm sure that's what you were talking about, but it messes with your mind, and the backstop is so far. There's so much foul territory. It messes with your mind. It messed with my mind. I don't know my career ERA out there, but I know it wasn't good. So that was one where if you said, should I go here, I'd be like, no. But that's just me. Good place to see it. Good place to see a game, I'm assuming, but not a good place to pitch a game for me.
And I guess my final question I'll ask you is baseball in Canada as big as it is in the U.S.? What's it like? You played in Toronto, and I think you spent a little time in Montreal, right?
Yeah. I was on that 2014 when they when they turned over to Washington. I was in that where they moved after that after the 2004 season. Yes, it is. It is, and I think they're trying to get baseball back up in Montreal. I played in I spent time in Ottawa, and I spent a year and a half up in Edmonton, which is beautiful. If you've never been up there. It's about 2 hours north of Seattle, like a flight. It's up there, but I'll tell you what, it's beautiful. But Canada, yes, they are diehard. They like their sports. And that's one of the things where I guess because it's only a Toronto-based team now in Canada, there's no other baseball. There's no AAA. I think there may be an A-ball team. But the passion they have for baseball is very silent because there's so many baseball fans up in Canada. When we would go, when I was playing in Toronto, when we would travel to Seattle, the fans that would come down from Vancouver, we would almost match the amount of fans that the Seattle brought in. Yes. So to answer your question, baseball is huge in Canada, and the fan support that they get. I don't know if you saw they sold out. They had the biggest attendance up in Toronto at the Rogers Center this year they've had in, I think, 15 years.
Wow.
You put the product on the field, they're going to come out. That's for sure. They love baseball, and they just love sports.
Did Toronto have a play-in game this year, and it got real filthy towards the end of the game? Was that game?
That was last year, I thought.
Yeah, maybe it was.
It was last year.
Yeah, that was crazy.
With Texas, right? With Texas, Jose Batista.
That was
bat flip. I think they've had some. There's some kids doing bat flips just like that now when they hit homers.
Yeah.
No, I play with Jose, and there was nothing intentional coming from that. That's just his aggression. That's his passion for the game coming out in a situation where it should.
That's
it
emotional.
should come out. It should. You should let it. If you got something to say and you've backed it up, there you go.
I've got to ask from a personal standpoint. My dad was a big Tigers fan.
Mm-hmm.
Have an opportunity to play in Old Tiger Stadium?
No, I never went to Old Tiger Stadium.
Comerica Park?
Yes.
Yeah.
I went there. Beautiful park.
Yeah.
No, I never got to Old. I've gotten to play in every major league city, but not every stadium. I never got to go to Old Detroit. Never went to Old San Diego, but I got to go to New San Diego, and it is awesome.
Yeah. A lot of teams look like they're making new stadiums pretty quick, like Atlanta this year.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a pretty quick life for a baseball stadium there, isn't it?
Yes.
About 9-10 years?
Yeah. No, where it's moving, it should be the fan support they're going to get. It should be pretty good. I don't know, personally, but I think it's from when I played in Atlanta, from what the conversations that we had, the reason for that is the fan base.
Excellent. Well, I think we've taken up a lot of your time.
No, it's
really
like I
appreciate you coming by, man.
I said this has
been fun.
This has been a pleasure. This has been a pleasure of mine being involved in something as special as this, and I look forward to doing it from years. Now that I got some downtime for years and years down the road.
That's pretty awesome.
But I appreciate you having me on. Again, the invite, I love it.
Two solid games.
Been, one solid game. Well, yeah, maybe two.
Yeah, you had two solid games.
The TV game, though, right? The
2:30.
The 234.
Yeah.
234. TV game. Those 4 pins were huge.
Yes, they were.
Don't take the 4 pins away.
Yeah, you can't take the 4 pins away. But, no, it was, like I said, it was a pleasure, and I've had a blast. And I look forward, anytime you want me to come back on, I'm in. And we are up to almost 230.
Yep, 29 likes, 567 watching.
Right.
So
we're holding strong watching. So we haven't bored them enough to get off. So that's good.
No.
But no, we'll bring somebody fresh on, and maybe they'll start watching a little bit more.
All right, Scott. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you at this event. Good luck to your bowling career. We're looking forward to following it.
Appreciate it.
If there's anything we can do for you over here at Inside Bowling, and let us know, and we'll contact with Dave Wadka and keep up to date on your progress.
Will do. I appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thanks. That's Scott Downs, two-sport athlete now. He's into bowling, and he's awesome. That was fun. I really enjoyed that. That was worth the trip in itself right there. So pretty great spending some time. You're too busy bowling. That was enjoyable, Jason.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, Scott's a great guy. One of the first couple of times I've met him. Obviously very insightful with sport, and seems like he's loving our sport as well, so that's good all the way around.
He is. I'll tell you, when he was telling that story about you weren't in the booth at the time, but he told a great story. You're going to have to go back and watch it. His very first time getting a call to the mound, and it's in Cincinnati. It's Griffey's first year in Cincinnati. And comes in for a fresh inning for himself, and Pokey Reese is up at the plate. Pokey Reese, he's a speedster. And he throws the first pitch. He thought it was right down the middle for a strike ball. 4 straight balls. So now he walks the speedster. Barry Larkin's up next. Hall of Famer Barry Larkin. Throws the 5th pitch. Thought it was right down the middle. Ball. Mark Grace comes up to the mound. You know, Mark Grace. Gives him a little pep talk. Ends up ground ball. Double play to Larkin. There's 2 outs now. And Griffey comes up to the plate and grounds out. Gets out of the inning. Mark Grace walks up to him, puts his arm around him, and says, "Welcome to the big leagues." Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So we are here finishing up game number 2. I got Brett Shepard looking me straight in the face. Yeah, I got scores. What do you want to know? Brett Shepard wants to know scores. If you have a cell phone, you can get them too, by the way. Oh, your phone's dying. There you go. Yep.
-7 cut after 1.
Yep, -7. You're welcome. Anything for you, Mr. Shepard. Finishing up game number 2 on 27 and 28. We do have a new pair over on 21 and 2. We'll take you to here in a moment. There's a couple of frames left. They are getting really hard. Brandon Novak was high with 186 on 21 and 2 the last game.
Yeah, they're definitely tightening up out there.
Yeah, they're brutal. They are brutal. And right now, the New England Patriots lead the Houston Texans 17-13. A little bit of a closer game than what most people thought.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I wouldn't have expected that game to be that close.
Defense, man. Defense. Baltimore Ravens with Trent Dilfer at quarterback won a Super Bowl.
That's enough said right there.
Yep. Brock Osweiler can do it with a big defense if Trent Dilfer can do it.
And they're doing all that without J.J. Watt.
I know. Unbelievable.
Me being an Oakland Raiders fan, I'm a little bit bitter watching that anyway. So.
Yeah, I can understand. This just in, every NFL team has moved to L.A.
Except Oakland.
They're all playing at the same stadium, and they're just going to have 3 games a day. One at noon, one at 4, and one at 8. 7 days a week. Be played in the L.A. new complex owned by Stan Kroenke.
One team may be even invited to play in the parking lot.
Could be. Game number 2 in the books here at the 2017 Bradley Open. Take you over lanes 21 and 22 at this point in time. And look at how convenient this is right here. First page. Brad Serralo, Eric Wiley, Dwight Adams, Sam Bratton, Tony Lambert, Matt O'Grady right here on our pair. Tony Lambert, 3-time champion. We've been saying that all weekend. He's won 3 times. Take a look at that little 5-10 conversion out there on the lanes. Very nice.
It'll be good to watch how Tony's doing out there. Where was he sitting, Mike, after 1?
Yeah, let's take a gander. Unless I skipped over him. Doubt he's that. Oh, there he is. 172. He's in 86th position.
A little rough start. Then again, that's not a horrible score out there, and it can easily catch up with one decent game. Went flush there on that one.
Tom Clark sends out a tweet here to us. Says the Advancers Round is the name of the next Fantastic Four movie. Got caught up on Twitter here. Thanks for watching, everybody. We're at 572, 232 likes. 3 people didn't like something about our stream, probably because we blocked them or banned them. Got game number 3 underway on 27-8 as well. I'll tell you who's over there in just a few moments as soon as they get going. I see Chris Kalela and Matt Gasson over there.
Hopefully the guys at my desk up there will get a updated standings after 2 very shortly.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, year 2 has been flowing a lot better than year 1. Not to say there was anything wrong with year 1, but it's just always nice to come in a second time. You guys had my spot ready for me. I mean, you guys rolled out the red carpet.
Try to have everything done in advance. That's what we're aiming for. Make it as smooth as possible and prevent any glitches. You know, knock on wood as many times as possible.
Dwight Adams here on lane 22 took home the doubles title, which seems like 5 years ago, but it was just 22 hours ago or so.
Heck, Mike, I don't even know if it was that long ago. What, 2:30 in the morning?
Yeah. Jeff Evans bowled really well earlier today. He joined us in the booth for a while, gave him some booth time. Nice guy from North Carolina, 27 years old.
Is Dwight from the same area?
Not too far. Not too far, yeah. They came in together. They're going to bowl a lot of stuff this year, and Dwight's going to get his PBA card.
Oh, awesome.
And go out and bowl a lot of stuff on tour.
He throws the ball really well. Both of those guys do.
Yeah. Jeff,
and anyone that missed that last night, that was a heck of a finish to game 2. 264 to 267.
Sure was. We'll have everything archived, too, early next week. We record everything at a better rate and then upload the better stream. We had to actually lower our stream here, Jason. We had to go to a 1 meg upload 480p because, for whatever, your internet was a little inconsistent with uploads. It was just bouncing quite a bit. So, but we're good now. It does that sometimes.
Yeah, I think we had a little glitch last year as well, didn't we, Mike?
Yeah, and I don't, I don't know what causes that. You know, when you get internet at your house, most people don't need a concurrent, constant, perfect stream, so they get away with that.
The glitches and blips in it.
Yeah, I'm going to look at it right now real quick with you here. So when this little meter bounces around, when it comes up, it's where you actually get to see where you're coming in at. And the more bounces, the more variance. So that's the download, which doesn't mean anything for live streaming. This is just how much data you can pull in.
Okay.
Well, when we stream, we're sending it up.
So it's the upload.
Yeah, and we're going to get that in just a minute. And you'll see that thing bounce around. And we can't stream at anything less or anything more than the lowest that it goes. So since we're streaming right now at 1 meg, it's got 1.6 left, 1.5 left.
Okay.
So technically we should be able to stream at about 2 megs right now, but I wasn't able to pull that earlier because this number would dip down.
Because it was bouncing around so much.
Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. I monitored it a couple times.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Oh, we have unfortunately fallen to 3rd place.
Yeah, the people are streaming this Texans-Patriots game. So get those likes up, folks. Let's get ahead of the Patriots-Texans game on YouTube.
Yeah, that is completely unnecessary. They can watch that on the TV. Watch the bowling on the live stream.
Well, what's happening now is people are pirating the game and they're uploading it so other people that don't have the service can go watch it on YouTube.
Gotcha.
And then they put like their Twitter handle in the corner of the screen and say, subscribe to me for letting me show you this for nothing.
Nice.
Yeah. It's Tony Lambert. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the split screen now, and I'll tell you who we have over on lanes 27 and 28 for game number 3.
It's like Kyle Rogers getting up there right now. And I think,
Yeah, Kyle Rogers, Matt Gasson, Brian Wallace on 27, Austin Bolds, Josh Berry, and Chris Kalela on 28.
and Josh was one of our top 8 bowlers last year.
Yes, he was. He defeated somebody in a match. He was the underdog. I forget which one it was.
Yeah, and at the same time, he was the bowler here last year that barely squeezed out E.J. Tackett, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. How many years have you streamed the event? I know Craig was here.
4 now.
4.
Yep.
2 years with Craig, 2 years with me.
Yes, sir.
Craig's still streaming like crazy. Michigan Bowler TV's changed into Bowl Stream, and he's helping the PBA. I really like Craig. Good guy.
He is a great guy.
I know that sometimes these streaming things change a little bit. He picked up the 11th frame due to ball company affiliations and things like that, and I picked this one up and stuff like that. It happens, you know. It's how bowling goes. We're happy to be here. I thought Craig did a nice job when he was here too. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've had a lot of fun on all the live streams. You know, I try to never make anything personal with business. It's just a good decision all the way around, and I think you guys both do a great job. Personally, I've had a lot of fun with you here, like I said.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from you, so it's always, I guess, enlightening in a way to learn from different people, so you can apply it to your own events, what you're doing with bowling yourself, and not unnecessarily blowing smoke. But like I said, I can't thank you enough for all the help. So
yeah,
it goes a long way, man.
Yeah, I just try to just relax, have a good time, go with the flow, and if somebody says, "Hey, can I sit in the booth?" Yeah, sure. You got an opportunity, sit down.
Yeah, like
we saw that Friday night.
We saw that Friday.
Have a seat. Come on over.
Yeah.
You know, because here's the thing, really. There are people that just spending a few minutes in the booth, it makes their day. Like, it is like the thing. Like today, Jeff Evans, I asked him to sit in this booth. That made his day.
Yeah.
When he walked in the door, came back from dinner or whatever, he's like, "Everything going okay up here? You need anything? Everything fine? Great job. Had me cracking up earlier." Yeah.
On the other hand, you could always have someone jump on the booth and say that you're being unfair to women.
I know. And that was a big deal in the chat. Boy, that was a big hoot.
It was. From what you told me, you know.
That was funny.
Yeah, I think that you said that the viewers gave some pretty interesting feedback to the accuser there.
Here we go. We've got advancers round scores after game number 2 updated 3 minutes ago on Inside Bowling. Graham Falk is your new leader at plus 81. He bowled 481 games at 212 and 269. He sits at the top. Jeff Butler in second with 214 and 237. He sits at plus 51. Then at plus 48, there's a tie for third and fourth with Brian Robinson and Daniel Dino. Chris Hester, good to see Hester up in fifth right now with 192 and 255 for a 447.
Yeah, talking about Chris, it's awesome to see him back out here competing. I know he's struggled with a couple of medical things over the last couple of years, and to see him back out at the level that he should be is great to have him out here. I know you think you recently had him out at the doubles, didn't you?
Yeah, sure did. In 6th and 7th, we have 2 people that have won this tournament before. We've got Brian Wallachek at plus 41 and Jeff Fair at plus 40. Ricky Fuller sits 8th at plus 35.
And then 2 more former champions, Brian Dennis and Tom Smallwood.
There you go. 434 and 428 are what they bowled. Smallwood, a little bit different path. 163, 265. He got the Century Award there. That's what we call that. If Scott Downs is back in the booth, we could educate him on how we determine that as well.
Looking at this top lineup here, top 21,
yeah.
There's an awful lot of people in there that have either won the event or placed in the top 8 over the last 4 years.
And the man to watch in 2030, he's won the back-to-back last 2 years. Looking for the three-peat, Brandon Novak sits at plus 3, 23rd position.
Yeah, going down that list a little bit, Mike. Brian Robinson was in the top 8 last year. Like you said, Wallachek and Fair, former winners. Fuller in the top 8. Brian Dennis and Smalls in there as well, former winners. Vern Peterson, a runner-up. Going down to Novak there, obviously another champion. So I think if I'm not mistaken, that's 5 out of the 6 former champions in the top 25.
If you want to check to see how your favorite bowler's doing, go over to InsideBowling.com, click on the live streaming link, and it's underneath the event information tabs for you. Everything's there for you.
What is that cut line right now? What's the score to get to tomorrow morning?
11 under.
11 under for Steve Novak.
Once again, bowlers are looking to make it into the top 40 to make it to tomorrow morning's 5-game. It should be. It's called the Cashers Round, but other people do cash this year, so we'll probably just call it Round 3.
Yep, we'll have to change that a little bit. You know, we slightly ran into that situation last year. We ironically had a 40th and 41st place roll-off between Mitch Beasley and Zeke Bate that kept us running a little later last year. And, Mike, that definitely kept you scrambling, moving those cameras around.
Yes.
But, yeah, an extra 9 people. Logistically, I think we've got the cameras placed a little better this year for you.
And we are not going to have a roll-off tonight.
Yeah, we're crossing our fingers for that. We had our roll-off earlier for the re-entry squad. Seems like every year.
I have a schedule for my IB tournaments. Last weekend in April, we're going to have the IB Open. Can't tell you where it is yet because I don't know myself. Then we do the holiday doubles, which I believe is December 16th and 17th. It's that week before Christmas next year, and that's in St. Louis. What time do they start back in the morning? 9 a.m.? If you have any more questions here in the chat for us, we'd be more than happy to answer them for you.
I'm a little closer now, so I can read any of these questions if they come my way.
Oh, there you go.
This great conversation is keeping me awake right now, so any questions will go a long way to making sure I don't fall asleep.
And I'm trying to catch up on social media to see if somebody's tagged me or asked me a question about something that I haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah, we've got some good spots to give away in some other events as well this year for some of the competitors.
Yeah, I still haven't told you how I'm going to give you an IB Open.
No, I was going to ask that. I was going to put you on the spot and see where you're wanting that spot to go to. Yeah, the top finisher from tonight's squad is going to get a Detroit Cup spot, and the highest local bowler is going to have a paid entry to the Proprietors Cup this year as well. So there's 2 spots, but we are waiting for Mike's big unveil for the IB Open.
I think this is what I want to do. Okay? This is how I want to give away the IB Open spot. The highest okay, so this quarterfinals here,
Yes.
that format is 2 out of 3?
Yeah, they're all 2 out of 3.
Right, okay. Just making sure. So it could go 2 or 3 games.
Correct.
The highest losing average from that round will get the IB Open spot. So meaning if you make it down to the quarterfinals, there's 8 bowlers left.
Yes.
Out of the 4 people that lose,
Whoever's got the highest accumulated average between 2 or 3 games.
correct. So if you go 250 and lose 0-2,
Yep.
you average 250 and lost. If you bowl 3 games and lose 2-1 and averaged 249, I'm still giving it to the guy that bowled 2 games and averaged 250 and lost. That way, you were the best loser out of that group,
But you still won something.
but you get a little bit more because if you'd have bowled another opponent, you would have probably advanced.
Very true.
So that's why I'm going to do it that way.
I think that is a real neat way to do it. Something different.
That's how we're going to do that one.
So that's 3 really big tournament entry spots that they can win. IB Open, Pro Cup, and Detroit Cup. So lots of opportunity to bowl in 3 other good events.
Jason, why isn't PWBA returning to Lexington in 2017?
That was just scheduling. We were working with the owner, seeing what we were doing schedule-wise, logistically, and it just didn't fall into the right spot. We did contact the PWBA, working with Tennille and all the great team out there, and we said we would definitely be put on the waiting list to see if anything opened up, and we would look again in the future to host it at either one of our locations.
What does it mean to say when a bowler's +4 or -10 or something? It's taken from a 200 score. So if you bowl 204, you're +4. If you bowl 196, you're -4. Fred's waking up from a nap. Welcome back, Fred.
Fred, I need a nap.
Jason Ushwal is in the booth with me right now. Am I saying your name right?
Uchwal.
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 I remember that. I screwed that up last year, too.
Hey, that's all right. I've heard so many different variations.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, tournament director's in the booth. Thanks, I'm trying to. I hope you do. Okay, yeah, somebody's got a cold. Is the 2018 Bradley Open in January?
Yeah, we've always hosted it in January. January is a tough month logistically for all the other events going. So we've looked at other months in the past. No current plans to change it. But it's always something that we look at. I'm sure you'd agree, Mike, there's so many events out there that you're competing with and great ones as well. PBA is in Japan right now and a lot of guys out there. A lot of people in Helsinki, Finland as well. Even the Vicky in Louisiana. So it's tough to move the event around. But, like I said, no plans to change this year, but definitely something that we'll continue to look at to maximize the turnout for the event.
Mike, has Beth come by today? Not to my knowledge. I was a 180 average bowler, but lost sight in my right eye, so I had to basically start over. Now I'm about 140 average. Well, hey, keep at it. I'll tell you a really weird story with the eyes and bowling in just a second. On the website, what do the star mean by the bowlers' names?
Well, what we did a couple years back is, again, to encourage more people to come out, we developed the system where the highest, and we didn't develop the system, obviously. It's a successful system a lot of other events have used in the past. The highest lady, the highest junior, the highest senior will advance automatically to the top 40 if they're not naturally advancing. The different asterisks signify what they are. I believe, if I'm correct, the single is for a junior or a youth player. The 2 stars or 2 asterisks are for the ladies out there, and the 3 are for the seniors in that category.
Okay. So that answers that question. Is this an open tournament where anyone could potentially play in? Yes. Go Trevor Roberts, all the way from Florida. Thank you for that comment. Jason Schaefer says it's neat to give away spots like you are. Gives credit. Smiley face. No, they're not fun, but it's not keeping me from bowling or this great live stream. Okay, so we got a conversation going on here. Split screen. We have a request for split screen. We'll make that happen for you. Thank you. There's a guy in my league who's legally blind, averages in the 160s. His wife tells him what he left after the first shot. Interesting.
That is interesting.
The InsideBowling.com Open is most likely not going to be in St. Louis this year. Just tuning in for the first time all weekend. Are these twister pins? Yes.
They are twister pins.
How many people normally turn out, and how much is the fee to play? $300, 197 this year.
Yep, 198. 198. But participation's been increasing each year. 125 to the 140s, 154 a couple years ago, 167 last year, and another great jump this year to 198.
Yeah, when Inside Bowling shows up in town, the numbers go up.
I've got no problem giving that credit that way to help out.
It's not any hard work here in the trenches and the Facebook messages coming into Jason or anything like that. It's got everything to do with just us showing up. So, yeah, you know how it is. Let's see. Okay, so I want to tell you this trippy story about your eyes and bowling. So I was a bowling center rug rat, bowling alley rat, whatever you want to call it, when I was growing up. And I worked in a bowling center, and I just practiced and bowled all the time. So we'd always try trick shots, right? I mean, you try all these different things. Oh, let's throw it between these two things. Let's put cones on the lanes. Let's put tape on the lanes. Let's try to ramp the ball. Let's throw it with 2 fingers. Let's throw it back up. Let's do all this goofy, crazy stuff, right? So one day, somebody had the idea that we would look at targets that are nowhere near your mark. And what I mean by that is you have to bowl and say, look at the sidewall the whole way to the line.
I could see that becoming a disaster.
I will have you know that I've done that one time, and it was the worst delivery of a bowling ball I've ever had, and I thought I was going to get kicked out of the bowling center. I threw that ball 3 lanes away is where it ended up. 3 lanes. Do you know how hard it is to throw it through gutter capping and bouncing over in 3 lanes away?
That had to have been funny to watch.
And I was a good little bowler at the time. Like, I was averaging 215. I was like 15 years old. 2 300s under my belt. Like, I knew what I was doing. And when I did it, I've never been so scared before in my life. It was the loudest racket you ever heard. And my ball, thank goodness there weren't many people in the bowling center, but never again would I ever do that.
I guess that's a way to take out the opposition as well.
Feeding Frenzy, you watch bowling all the time. I see Feeding Frenzy was watching the team trials recently.
That 252 likes down there, Mike?
Yeah, we're soaring. We're soaring to new heights.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of crazy things in bowling centers over the years. The pitch across the lanes, that's pretty funny. It would have been worth watching.
Am I still doing $20 per swear on the air? Yes, I am. Mike, is Liz in the advancers round? Yes, she is.
I think she's sitting in the, top 30, Mike?
Yeah.
Top 30, top 35?
Yeah. She's actually my pick to win.
I was, obviously I'm ecstatic to see all the participation, but for me it was super special to see her come out here. I don't know any time that Liz has been out here bowling in the Bradley, and to have someone of her caliber out here is awesome to watch.
I don't know if you know this or not, but Mike Wolf's bowling the tournament.
Yeah, I know Mike's here.
He is here.
Mike's been a great help as well. He's always a good person to bounce a lot of questions off of, and he's got unlimited experience in these type of events. Obviously a high-quality player himself, so feedback I get from a lot of these guys are valuable tools to make this event better.
Mike, what's your current average? I'm not bowling league right now. I'm ashamed to say. Not bowling league right now.
I think all the traveling you do might affect that league play.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'd average right now. I have no idea.
You need to get a league to accept for every town or city that you're in.
Yeah.
You can go into that center in pre-bowl or post-bowl,
Yep.
and they've got to accept those scores.
Yep. This is a true story. I just bought a USBC card last week online for the first time ever.
Right.
Yeah, I just went online and bought the card because I'm going to nationals now.
You're going to bowling nationals and you're not bowling league?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Who are you bowling nationals with?
I'm bowling with some folks in St. Louis. I'm bowling with the guy that owns the center. It's been very good to me, Ben Tubbin. I'm bowling with him and a buddy of mine who helped with Inside Bowling when it started, Doug Lakey. Sean Shelton, who's in the chat a lot of times, is bowling with our group. Awesome. Joe Nolan also. He's my doubles partner. Here's the funny thing, right? This is what's so amazing. Ben Tubbin sends me a message and says, you're going to bowl doubles with Joe Nolan. And I'm like, really? That's great. Thanks for putting me with Joe. I guess I got to go practice. And I said, is Joe cool with that? He goes, I gave him a list of people to pick, and he picked you. And I was like, oh, man, it made me feel really good. So I'm going to practice up. I'm ready for it. Gatorman, great job on the broadcast tonight. Thank you for keeping things as entertaining as you have, Mike. Thanks, I try. Some people get my sense of humor, some don't, I guess. What was the most difficult split you've ever picked up? I picked a 7-10. I'll tell you, the worst split is 4-6. I don't know if I've ever picked that thing. What about you, Jason?
The best one, again, for me is the 7-10. I'd have to agree with you. I don't know. There's been some horrible stuff that I've left out there. So I never like to see any of them.
Would I consider myself a scratch bowler? I would, but most of the people I surround myself would say no. Why did the stream cut out as soon as you said you were bowling nationals? Yeah, no kidding. And we are experiencing buffer problems right now. Okay.
Is that bouncing up again, up and down again for the upload?
Yep, that's what causes that. But I think we're okay right now. So 470 watching, that hit us a little bit. This little curve right here tells you if our stream's doing well or what happens. So
dropped off.
Yeah, but we bounced back. Yep, that's the deal. I want to check in on these pairs so you can see how your favorite bowler's faring out there with scores. Jeff faring. Bum. I'll be here all week. End. There is something I do need to look up here in a minute, which is how far is Lexington to St. Louis? I don't remember the drive.
Not sure on that one. How long is it from Louisville? 4 and a half?
I don't remember.
Say it's got to be close to 5 1/4.
Boy, that's long. 5 hours.
Close.
Straight shot, though.
Yeah. You guys get many of the Lexington players down in St. Louis?
Lexington, I don't know. Louisville,
I know
for
quite
sure.
a few Louisville.
Yeah. Not sure. You know, I'm to the point now where I just run the broadcast.
Yep.
And I let Jerry Anderson and Kim Richter handle the whole tournament. So I don't really, I should probably be in there shaking hands, looking at hometowns a little bit more. Take you over to the other pair, check on the scores. These two pairs are pretty much bowling at about the same time.
They've definitely got some good upcoming bowlers around here. I know Lexington's a much smaller market than Louisville, but they've definitely got some quality players. Jacob Yazel's one. It's a little shout out to him. He's a Morehead State bowler. Beats himself up a lot, like a lot of other great players out there, but I definitely can see him getting out there and competing. Chris Jones is out here. I think he's on our, maybe on one of our featured pairs, or was. Really good left-handed bowler. So they're out here competing with the best, or what I would consider the cream of the crop, and it's always neat to see, like I said, everyone, but you always want to see the local participants doing well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Cream of the crop, Mean Gene Okerlund.
Hey,
Macho
I'm a wrestling fan as well. So.
Oh, I love that, yeah. Jeff Goodger's the best at it, but I'll give it a shot here. The Tower of Power, Mean Gene Okerlund. Oh, yeah. Here in Lexington, Kentucky, yeah. Macho Madness looking down from heaven. And all the bowlers here at the Collins Eastland Bowl. I want to give out a shout out to Jason and his entire staff. Oh, yeah. I'm losing it. I need to go back to my Mitch Beasley impersonation. As a matter of fact, here he is. Mitch, how you faring tonight? Well, pulled out another ball. Shot 250. Jelmar gave me a call, told me to move a little bit further left. 270. Bowling pretty good. Made an adjustment. Moved right for a game. That didn't work. Moved left. That worked. Just not repeating shots. Thanks, Mitch. Bill Crane. Hi, Mike. Haven't tuned in yet until now. Distance of the pattern volume. Drew says 46 feet, 40 milliliters is pretty close, Bill.
That would be pretty close. We typically don't broadcast the shot or give bowlers a sneak peek or a look, but that's definitely in the ballpark.
We'll say that again because we were experiencing stream difficulties. So we'll try that one more time.
For the length and the volume, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was posted on there, 46 feet, 40 on volume. I said it's pretty close. We normally don't put it out there. But it's definitely in that ballpark.
I wonder if the office here from time to time uploads something at a certain time. Because right now we got no bandwidth. We got nothing. When that thing sits up there and just goes red, that means we got
nothing at all.
Well, yeah, not a meg.
No.
We're recording here, and everything we're doing will be uploaded, but
nothing live currently.
Nope. So we're pinging it and looking at it here.
That's interesting to see that. I mean, sometimes we'll have little glitches here with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Always different to see it this way. That might explain a lot of things. So.
Yeah, it's just sitting here.
Idling.
Now I'm getting text. You know there are stream issues. Yes. So when we did have 26 download.
Right.
Now we're at 4.
Yeah, that's a drastic jump. I mean, hopefully that resolves itself pretty quickly. I hate to see us down for any time at all.
Yeah, we're at 0.5. We need to be at 1 minimum.
That's horrible.
Looks like it's trying to bail itself out here.
Is that back on now, Mike, or is it still?
Yeah, green is good. So if we see it for 60 seconds continuous of green, it means we're probably going to be back.
What typically causes it to jump like that?
It's just
Interference or?
whatever's coming into the building. And what's crazy is we can upload it 1080p if we wanted to, but we need a 5 meg upload. So like if we go to like the casinos,
Yeah.
you know, like South Point, stuff like that,
Yep.
man, we are 1080.
Nice.
We're, I mean, we're rocking and rolling. All right. Should be rocking, should be back. But our viewer numbers go way down.
Yeah, they drop off significantly.
There we go, right there. You can see when the internet goes down.
Yep.
So you could email them or talk to a rep and let them know what happened.
Yeah, I
You
think
know.
I will.
That's just good for your center in general.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's still glitching on us.
Oh, Mike, I'm going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can have me back on a little bit later.
Yeah,
and I'm going to see
absolutely.
if I can find a resolution to that problem for us.
Yeah, who knows? All right, bud. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
All right, man. Jason Uckwall, Hutchwall hanging out with us. What's up, Chris? Stream is down. Stream is down. Yeah. No, it was going in and out. 2017 Bradley Open. Mike Flanagan here with you. I want to thank all of our sponsors. We want to thank Hammer Bowling, New Center Consulting, Ace Mitchell Bowlers Mart, Logo Infusion. You can save 20% off with coupon code Bradley17. Bradley17 saves you 20% off this weekend. Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Fireball Whiskey, United American Supply, Brooks Electric. Thanks for all the support of the 2017 Bradley weekend. I want to thank Classic Products also for the double shootout sponsorship on Friday night. We had a great event, 79 teams in all.
Did a reset on all the network, so when it comes back up, I'll check in, let me know what you got.
Will do.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here locked up right now, so. If you're watching this on YouTube, you right now we're experiencing some stream difficulties here in the center, but you won't see that on the archived version. Okay, everybody. Looks like we should be back. All right, finishing up game number 3. Sorry for the silence there. We're working through some stream issues here. 2 more to go. $187, $163, $180, $192, $200, and a possible $181. But we're going to go ahead and head over to game number 4 now. Over here on lanes 21 and 22. And it looks like we have Steve Taylor. Just came off a holiday doubles win with his partner Eddie Flanagan. Neil Wicker, Brian Dennis, Corey Gilbert, Josh Party, and Daniel Binge. 2 to play. Game 4 of 5. Advancers round. That was a buzzkill for our stream. Sorry, everybody. It was totally out of our control. Nothing that we did. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Okay. I got some headsets out of whack up here. Trying to fix everything. A little housekeeping up here. And I don't have any guests. Hey everybody, I haven't asked for a while, but make sure you give us a like down below. We're not doing so good now that we had to restart the stream, so give us a like. And if you haven't found us over on Facebook, make sure you head over to facebook.com/Inside Bowling. Give us a like over there. Give us a follow. We would appreciate it. We also wouldn't mind you hitting that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We'd certainly appreciate it. Trying to get to 8,500 subscribers. Mike Wolf's going to give away a bowling ball on his Facebook page. We get to 8,500 subscribers, so tell all your friends to subscribe as well. Take you back out to the lanes now. Brian Himmler just dropped off an interesting fact. He says he's been aiming at the 1-2 pocket for 2 consecutive 200s, currently minus 15, making a run Chris Vi style. Interesting. I could turn a camera around. He is near the booth. We haven't had a Brian Himmler update in a long time in these parts of the woods. So let's see what I can't get for you on this. Next time he's up, I'll bring him up on the screen. There's Steve Taylor, winner of the holiday doubles. Up on lane 22. I had a question. What was my favorite ball from 2016? I'll go... Track Paradox. Marie, signs are great. Thank you. Like the video up. Yep, Bowl for Life. That's cool. I like what Chuck Gardner's doing with that and everybody doing that. Yeah, Bill. I have thrown the Mako. That's a 2017 ball. I said earlier on the broadcast that right now that's my favorite ball. Haven't bowled with track in a while. I got the Alpha Crux last year. It was a great ball. A lot of people had success with that ball, absolutely. I love my Scandal. A lot of Scandals got sold. A lot of titles got won. Huh. Jerry Anderson in the chat says, holiday doubles in July. 1 lane house, 1 lane Mike Flanagan style. Todd Hopfner here, Roto Grip Hectic. Best ball currently for me is my Paradox Trilogy. No, Ryan, I'm not working with Storm in any aspect. Stream down for anyone else. Shouldn't be. I'm showing a picture. I throw a Columbia 300 freeze. Sold a lot of freezes. Those were really good for the money. You might like a Hammer Rebel for a little more hook, or a Game Breaker 2 Phenom Pearl, or Track Heat maybe. Although I don't know if it would hook a lot more. I want to see if you can get through this without having to drop $20. So here's what's going on. We had 2 different squads take to the lanes today, 198 total entries in this event. The bowlers paid $300 to get in. 37 bowlers paid $100 to try to get in via 8 spots in a re-entry squad. And now you're watching the next portion of the tournament where they dropped all the pins and everybody starts over tonight for 5 more games. Then the top 40 come back tomorrow morning with these 5 games carrying over. And then we will cut down to the top 8 where we will do a bracket style best 2 out of 3 and crown a $10,000 champion tomorrow afternoon. And we'll stream it all. Second place, $5,000. Third and fourth receive $2,500 apiece, and 5th through 8th receive $1,250. Mike, what happens to you wearing your new jersey for this stream? I have my jersey on. I've shot most of my 600s with my DV8. Okay. He's wearing the reindeer. Yes, I am. Fred McGee throws 100% track. That's not a bad play, but you could sprinkle in a few other balls into your lineup. I'll go through those in a minute. Radical Zeno. I have 2 elites, 1 Storm, 1 Brunswick. Feeding Frenzy. You should try an EBI ball. I support mixed bags. You know, a lot of people have mixed bags. If you're not on staff, you have options. Try one though. True Nirvana. How is Novak doing? Which one? There's 2 in the tournament. Have you ever used a Scandal ball? I have. Hooks a lot. A little bit too much for me. But I hit up on it. Mike, say hi, Parker. Hi, Parker. Maybe I'll bowl next year. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to see you here. All I have in my bag is Radical DV8 and Brunswick. Brunswick, Radical, DV8 for me. Tony Lambert started the 2-handed in the 80s, and nobody throws it better. It's crazy how many people are doing it now. I have my Alpha Crux for the heavy oil, then a Roto Grip Alliance for light oil. A Roto Grip Alliance? What is that? What is your favorite ball of all time? Mine is the High Road. Mike, if I looked into a 360 camera, I own one, the Samsung 360. Mike, have you heard of Moxie Bowling? Not offhand. My favorite Ebonite ball, Turbo X. That was a good ball. It was fun watching people throw those on TV back when they didn't put much oil on the lanes. I would love to be on staff. Best track ball for me was the Exception. Still have it. The worst was the 920T. Thanks for sharing. Will we get a chance to see Vernon Peterson tonight? Boy, I sure hope so. Let's see. Favorite ball of all time. Let's go with favorite ball of all time. Oh, boy. Well, favorite ball of all time. Track Synergy. Anything with a ceramic core made by Columbia 300 or Track. How about that? Steve Taylor's using a Scandal now. Where's the Chief? I keep missing them, but you're not missing much right now. I remember throwing a hard rubber Brunswick LT48. Yeah, they sold a lot of those. Favorite ball of all time, Storm Crossroad. Yeah, that ball didn't last long in the line, but you either loved it or hated it. 920T, no way. I love that ball. A lot of fans of that ball. Mine is the original Ebonite 1. Yeah, Michael. A lot of people like that one. Tommy Jones liked it. I know John Brocklin, who's in the chat, really liked that ball too, especially playing up 10 in St. Louis. I think he averaged like 257 or something. I mean, he didn't average that high because that would have broke a record. But Austin Bedolla, favorite chat moment of the night, says hi. Nick Rath's Black Widow. Yep, a lot of those are sold too. Gas mask cores still in the line. The Alliance, I think, is from 2008. Doesn't really carry though, but some houses I bowl at, their lanes very dry quickly. 50% of the oil's gone. Okay, my favorite is Black Widow Dark Legend Solid. Favorite ball for me is 916 AT, which most people didn't like. Coup to C. Now now you're talking my language. Can't go wrong with the Burgundy Hammer. I'll tell you what, I had the original Burgundy. I had one made in St. Louis. Only Ebonite I had was a Rainbow by Don Carter. The old Rainbow, huh? Smash Time Pearl, Jade Piranha C. Yeah, boy, wasn't that fun. Danger, HPD Danger. Is that a Danger Zone? The Danger Zone was unbelievable. Parker Bowen made it look awesome. Purple Critical Mass, Quantum Sage. Oh, those were the good old days. Bringing back memories now. I'm only 15. Is there any way I can get on staff with anyone in the near future? I would wait until you're at least into college to pursue that. Can we see 27, 28? Yes. I will give you the split screen. How about that? Sorry about that. It's Mickey, not Michael. Oh, you're right. My bad. I saw the coffee. Freak, Tie Boss. Ooh, Tie Boss. Man, sweet spot there. Go back to the other pair. Ebonite V2, Angle Plus. Yes, sir. 1999 HPD Danger Zone particle cover. Big Shots, Columbia is another favorite. Another one, remember the Columbia Black Knight. Ooh, the Black Knight. That was like everybody's favorite spare ball for the longest time. You just felt cool throwing it. Favorite ball, Red Critical Mass. Ding, 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 ding. TC, you win the prize. Boy, was that ball something. Boy, was that ball something. Oh. Ceramic cores, I loved them. The trimmer was good, too. Taylor is using a Rebel Solid. Oh, is he now? Switch balls. Virtual Gravity 0809 is my favorite. Tom Hess enjoyed that one, too. Purple Rhino, Stormy Racer PBT, best ball as well. Black UDOT, overall best. VG was a beast. Ever throw a DV8? You know what? When DV8 first launched, Brian Birch was working for him, and I did try a DV8 ball. It was just okay. I don't know how their balls are right now, but it was just okay at the time. Thanks for the split screen, no problem. Only problem with split screen is we can't see the scores. Yes, that is a drawback. Teal Rhino Pro. Boy, the Teal Rhino. Boy, Brunswick sold a ton of those, huh? Everybody had those. Seemed like they were on TV every week. Absolute Inferno. Yeah, that was a good one. Track Triton Elite. Boy, there you are, talking my language again. What car do you drive? I got a Nissan GTR. What kind of car do I drive? Are we really going to take this here? I have a Lexus. It's a 2013. I really like it. How many two-handers do we got bowling? I'm not going to count them. AMF Nighthawk was oh, boy. We're talking some more of my language. That Nighthawk was a beast. Made in the San Antonio factory. I can't keep up with this. You guys love bowling balls. My gosh. Sumo. Oh, yeah. Sumo was a good one. Attitudes. That was a cool ball when those two came out. They were very shiny and bright and silvery. Anybody ever own the original purple buzzsaw? I didn't, but I do remember when Lane 1 first came out with their stuff. Yellow dot bleeder. Yeah, that's going really old school. You could teach Evelyn Wood speed reading. How about some love for, oh yeah, with speed reading. How about some love for the Hammer vibes? Okay, let's love the Hammer vibes. Coup to C. Yep, there we go again. Never thrown a Deviate. I saw Birch last week. Birch is a good guy. Tell him I said hi next time you see him. Deviate is getting better and better. Rotogrip Mars. Amen to that, John. Great show, Mike. See you tomorrow at 9 a.m. All right, I'll see you there. Tell Wolf I won that prize. Still use the red critical mass in league, and it has bad off a lot. Paid off a lot, probably. Too many 2 hangers. Remember the old Columbia 300 Sure D factory soaker? Yep. Don McCune, I think. Let's look. Storm Rocket Pro, Ultimate Weapon. Oh, Ultimate Weapon. That was interesting. The Gyro, the JPF Axe. I used to use a Manhattan rubber for a spare ball that my grandpa gave me. Monster Frenzy, Columbia Power Torque, David Ozio. I remember that. Columbia 300 Reaction Roll. I own a red flaming bowling ball. Interesting. Tropical Storm, first reactor ball I ever thrown. Has a special place in my heart. Good for you. I like that. Artifact. Hang on to it. Don't sell it in a garage sale. What pattern are they bowling on? It's a pretty flat pattern, 46 feet or so in length, around 40 mils. Piranha and Piranha C. Fab All Red and Blue Hammer and Blue Hammer. Red and Blue Pearl Hammer and Red and Blue Hammer. The Ninja Master. Remember those commercials where they did the little dance? That was cool. Optics. Oxygen is on its way. Yes, John, it is. That was fun reading the comments. All right, so Steve Taylor, his pair here. They're in the 5th frame. You get a look at the scores there. Kind of glance around the scoreboard, take a look, see how they're doing. I'm going to watch Steve bowl a shot, and then I'm going to go over to the other pair. We're going to look at that scoreboard, and then we'll go back to the split screen. How's that sound? Taylor didn't like it. Okay. Take you over to this pair here. We got Ben Pallardy on this pair, 27 and 28. Let's see what I can find you here. Bob Hale, Chris Discus, Chris Hester, Ricky Fuller, Greg Jones. Oh, I don't think that's right. That's next game. Try that again. 27-28, game 4. Here we go. Jeff Butler, Ben Pallardy, Chris Priode, Kyle Brandell, Ronnie Russell, Ari Wilson. If you've lost your iPhone 6 with a blue case, they have it at the front desk. My preferred action on that is that you normally say, if anyone has lost a cell phone, please inquire at the front counter. And then when they come up and they say, that was mine, what's it look like? What brand is it? What style? And then if they tell you blue iPhone 6, you say, yes, you're the winner. 24-16 New England, I see off to the corner of my eye. All right, I missed some comments in the chat here, but I'm just going to pick up from where I'm at. I'm not going to go back and reread all these bowling balls. Let's see. Love the show. You're doing a great job, Mike. Thanks for everything. Appreciate it. Today's my birthday. Happy birthday, Zit Boy. Feeding Frenzy. Yep. What's up, man? Gatorman 821. I have this streaming on my computer and on my TV through my Blu-ray player, LOL Echo. That's why you ask what the passwords to it. In the 90s, 2000, I was 100% Storm. I enjoy EBI now, and I'm signed with Moxie. Okay. Hi, Bowler Show. Yep. Hi, Bowler Show. Oh, wait. My first reactive was the blue and purple Tropical Heat. One of the best moments on the Bradley Open live stream has been the pay-per-view fight between Mike and Dave, which ended in a one-round punch knockout. Yes, that was earlier today. Hope you enjoyed it. Awesome Revs, Mo Rich, ever heard of it? Ronnie Russell, rocking the purple. Looks like a purple people eater. Good night, folks. I'm bowling a tournament tomorrow, and will donate my $80. Good luck, Zarnarian. Bowl well tomorrow. Super job. Say hello to Daniel. Hi, Daniel. I know who you're talking about. That's Chris Bolin. Hi, Daniel. You're doing a great job solo, Flanagan. Thanks, Tony Hines. Appreciate it. Happy birthday watching from San Francisco, California. Thanks for the stream. You got it, Mean Boy 2000. Happy birthday, Zit Boy, and may God bless you with many more. Feeding Frenzy, ding, 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 ding. You win the Sportsmanship Award of the night. You are the nicest chatter in the history of bowling streams. Feeding Frenzy 91. You, sir, will be a Hall of Famer in online streaming bowling chats. The old purple Nitro R squared. I ruined mine trying to bevel out the fingers with a butter knife. True story. And don't judge me. I know everybody else tried to do it years ago as well. You had all those chunks around the fingers. But it was a good ball. It really worked good two-fingered backup. What's the viewership like? 374. Man, we really got hit hard on that that time we were down. Man, I had Scott Downs in the booth, and he got the stream up to almost 600. Now the diehards are left. The best of the best are left right now. All right, let's see. The R2 is a great ball. Hello, Dustin. My first ball was the lime green Nitro. Hate to say worst ball I ever owned. Yeah, well, it's probably nice of you to do. Ball companies probably appreciate that too. For the record, the Pats are up 24-16 in the fourth. Yes, Mickey Coffee. I said your name right that time. Ronnie Russell. Hanging out. Maybe I should get Ronnie to talk to us. Yeah, John, it got real bad for 5 minutes. Yeah, the scoring pace is a lot different from my last stream, the Holiday Doubles. New England Patriots are about to score again. Looks like. Black Turbo. Jason Couch would tell you the same. Black Angle. I just got a new Storm ball for Christmas. That's awesome. You got a bowling ball for Christmas, man. Format for tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow morning, the top 40 return. The pins will carry over from tonight's bowling only. They'll bowl 5 more games, and they'll cut to the top 8. Mike, get Ronnie to start singing, and the ratings may stay high with people wanting to sign him to a record deal. That's a good point. Sell Pearl. Wes Malott made that thing look good back in the day. Can anybody join this bowling? Yes, anyone can join this bowling. May go high, sorry. Crush R. Ooh, the old red Crush R. On a positive note, post-stream reboot, no dislikes. Ah, Chris G, good call. Good call out there. We have an update after game number 3. Graham Falk leads at 897. No, what am I seeing? 697. Sixes are kind of weird with this font. Okay, 697, he leads. Brian Walchuk in second at 688. Jeff Fair is third at 655. Kyle Troops, 549, tied with Chris Priode. It's on your live stream right now. Steve Taylor, 546. He's on your live stream right now. Daniel Dino, 634. Tom Smallwood, 633. Brian Robinson, 632. Vern Peterson, 631. Ricky Fuller, 628. Three-way tie, 627. Doug Aston, Kyle Mayberry, Brian Dennis, Steve Novak then is just slightly behind. So let's look and see. Currently right now cut for 38th position is 591 Greg Thomas. And it says here 39th is Kurt Quinn, top senior bowler, and Robert Mrowski, top youth bowler. It's a little difficult to read right now for me, though. Anyway, it's over on Inside Bowling. You can check it out. Let's see. I'm not going to do the, the Mitch Beasley imitation. Mitch is bowling pretty good. Moved left. A little bit closer to ball return. Pulled out a new ball. Went back to the Paradox and shot 240. Moved to another pair, 230. Bowling pretty good. Made an adjustment. I'm up to bowl. So anyway, there's Mitch Beasley for you. Let's see. What was the average of the last person who qualified for the advancers round? Good question. I'll have to look that up. Mike, got any picks for top 4? Yeah, I'll do that in a minute. Anyone mention the high road? Yes, it was mentioned. Sub to me, and I'll sub back. Okay, well, you're just gonna. I'm gonna get you out of here. Well, you don't try to get subs in here. Pats in Green Bay in the Super Bowl. Get the popcorn ready. Brandon Novak, J.R. Raymond. How are they doing? I'll find out. 900 Global Inception Pearl Ball of the Year. It's pretty early to be saying that. I want to try Candlepin one day. Seems fun. How much service does JR have on his stuff today? More grit? I'm not sure. Is Angelimar in the chat? She was earlier. Font is pretty bad with the scores. I agree. Love it, Mike. Great Mitch impression. Thanks. Great job. Thanks. C300 Rat Dead Flush was so good. Never had one of those. I kind of stopped drilling balls. You know, it's like the closer you get to the industry, the less interesting it is to drill balls. It's kind of a buzzkill. Like, when you love bowling, you want to drill every ball possible. When you're around it all the time, you're like, yeah, I guess I got to drill a new ball. Getting ready to bowl a tournament. This is my advice. Stay out of the business. If you love bowling, don't work in it. I'm semi-kidding. It's late. Just giving you guys a hard time. Let's see. Favorite storm ball smell? I don't know if I have a favorite. One of them smelled like, I like berries. Are you using the Canon Rebel from the bag of crap I opened on Woot.com? No, I'm not. I'm working on trying to incorporate those cameras, but they don't come with power supplies. They only come with batteries, and you wouldn't want the camera to go out. Ronnie Russell with a strike. Who's the best bowler I've seen today? Walter Ray Williams. All right, you guys wanted Brian Himmler, and I have him somewhere. I'm going to be a little late on this, but this is his straight attack. He's got 84 in the 5th, and he just left that. He walked right in front of the shot, so. This is the 4th game. It's 11 o'clock. I got one more after this. It's going to be just after midnight we'll get finished. I'll be back at 9 a.m. If anybody's interested, wants to save me a little time, I could really use some Steak and Shake on the way home, but it's like 10 miles away, and I'm not going to drive that far away from my hotel. Mike Wolf sending me a text, wants to know how many subscribers we're at. I guess we're going to go look. I'm typing into Google YouTube real live subscriber count. He wants to get to 8,500. I don't think he realizes how hard it is to get subscribers.
Good luck and good bowling.
Yeah. Yep, just grab that. You can go either side. Yep, there you go. Perfect. All right, we're going to get game 1 of 5 coming up. We got some good stuff going on here. I'm going to bring it into the booth. Yep. We do allow that on air. We don't mind.
They didn't allow that.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I'm going to bring this in. I start my broadcast right now, and we look right up here.
Gotcha.
Good evening, everybody. Mike Flanagan here from InsideBowling.com, and I am joined by a very special guest this evening to kick off tonight's Advancers round, Scott Downs. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
If you haven't recognized Scott Downs by now, maybe you may not be a baseball fan, but Scott had a pretty good Major League Baseball career as a relief pitcher, and we're going to talk a little bit about baseball, but his new love for bowling throughout a game or two, or as long as he wants to sit next to me.
Yeah.
So it's just a pleasure to have you here. We're going to get started with our broadcast, and I know you're excited about this because we've got some pretty awesome bowlers out there right in front of us. We're going to take you over to lanes 21 and 22 now.
Okay.
And we've got Walter Ray
He's
Williams
not bad.
Jr.
He's not bad.
right in front of us. We've also got some other really talented bowlers over there, and I'm going to take you through all of them at this particular point in time right now. And let's go ahead and do that as I look through my sheet here. We've got Walter Ray on lane 21. He's the leadoff bowler. Bowling behind him is Jody Westner, and she's a PWBA superstar bowling on that pair. And then we've got arguably the greatest women's bowler of all time on lane 21 as well with Liz Johnson.
Okay, so you got a good group right there.
Oh, my
There's
goodness
a good group
gracious.
going on
yeah.
right now.
And then we've got on lane 22 crossing with them, we've got Justin Billings, Jacob Yazell, and Steve Novak. So we're in for a real treat just over here on 21 and 22. And we will also go over to 27 and 28 in just a little bit. And I'll go ahead and tell you who's over there. PBA 5-time champion Mike Wolf, bowling with Keith White, Ken Abner, John Welch IV, Aaron White, Jordan Bryant. So we're off to a good start here.
We got a good spot. We got a good seat right here for all the action.
We got a great spot. And this weekend would not be possible at the 2017 Bradley Open here in Lexington without our great sponsors that we have. And I'd like to run through them now. We have Hammer Bowling Products. If you're looking for a new bowling ball, make sure you consider Hammer Bowling Products. They've got the makers of the Scandal. They've got the new Phobia coming out. They've got the Rebel series and even that black urethane hammer. Let me tell you, they've got anything for you. If you're a die-hard bowler or even just a league bowler, make sure you go over and check out hammerbowling.com. Consult with your local pro shop, find the right hammer ball for you. Also, Logo Infusion this weekend. You can save 20% over at Logo Infusion with coupon code Bradley17. That's right, Bradley17 will save you 20% over there. And also, New Center Consulting. I don't know about you, Scott, but I've been in many different bowling centers, and sometimes you're like, you know what, they need to upgrade this or upgrade that. And New Center Consulting, give them a call. They can take care of you. And if you're a league bowler and you think your center needs an upgrade, tell the manager at your bowling center to check out New Center Consulting.
There you go. Perfect.
Also, Brooks Electric, big supporters of this event, and they've run a lot of electricity in the Collins bowling centers. And they're just a good group of folks over there, and they sponsor this event. So thanks, Brooks Electric. If you live in the Lexington area and you're looking for an electrical job to be done, check out Brooks Electric. We've got a couple of whiskey brands here as well, of course, here in Kentucky.
Okay.
I don't know if you've had any of these before, Scott, but Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Smooth.
And Fireball Whiskey.
Yeah, smooth as well, but it's not one of my favorites. I like Buffalo Trace a little bit better.
It's kind of like a young people, younger than you and I.
Yes.
Fireball, that's what they do.
And there's no, you're not going to go wrong with either one, that's for sure.
And I think Pitbull sings about that. Let me know in the chat, everybody, if that's Fireball. We also have an interactive chat going on, Scott, right now. Right here, we have 428 people watching. We have 50 likes down below. And we like to get that likes number up because it increases our ranking on YouTube. So if you could give us some likes out there, folks, that would be great. Also want to just thank everybody for coming in and being part of our event again here tonight. And this event has been going on for 38 years. 38 years. 1979 was a big year for this country because the Bradley started in 1979, and I was born in 1979. So 1979 was a good year.
Still just a pup.
I know. Third member of our broadcast team. Boy, all the stars are coming out tonight. We are now here joined also again for a second time today. Danny Collins, welcome back to the booth.
Thank you. I'm here with my buddy Scott. We bowl on Monday nights. He's getting addicted to bowling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm downloading a little video I'm going to send to our team and say, hey, we're on the live stream now.
Perfect.
I love that.
We're probably not going to get many comebacks on that. I tell you that right now.
He'll be ready Monday night, though.
After bowling in these conditions, yeah, there's not going to be. It can't get any worse than what it did this afternoon. But I tell you what, I had a blast, and I'm just glad to be a part of, everything that was going on.
Scott Downs, Mike Flanagan, Mr. Collins here in the booth as we are in game number one, and we were talking about just what a great talented field we have and who we have right here on our cameras. We've got arguably the greatest bowler of all time in Walter Ray, Jody Westner, Liz Johnson down there. I actually had a comment come in today when we were featuring Liz Johnson that said, when did Liz Johnson become so hot? Somebody said that earlier today on Facebook, and thought I would pass that along. Thought that was interesting.
That's interesting. That's throwing it out there.
It just goes to show that when we feature people, the way we light the set just is perfect for people to make comments like that. I'm sure, Scott, you're going to be getting a lot of fan mail now since you've been in this booth.
Exactly.
And
that's why I sat down. I've been wanting some fan mail for the last couple of years, so I sat down here. So now we're ready to go.
That's awesome. So early on here in game number one, thanks for everybody coming into the chat. We got those likes up to 80. We'd love to get to 100 likes down there below.
Come on, guys.
And I'm going to show you guys something really cool up here in the booth. If you go over to YouTube and you scroll down over here to the section where you go to Browse Channels, and people are cutting their TV cords and they're getting rid of their satellite dishes and they're going to online pretty much exclusively. And more and more people are looking for YouTube Live. So we go over to the sports section, and we can look and see where we rank tonight and all the other sports that are being broadcasted tonight. We've been 1 or 2 throughout most of the weekend, and I'll be darned right here. Here we are, live sports now. We are number 1 right now, thanks to all of our viewers hitting that like button, commenting, keeping the chat going. And we can't thank you enough for that. We are number 1 on YouTube right now.
That's perfect.
We are
football
ahead.
Playoffs don't stand a chance with this right here.
We are ahead of the Baltimore Blast versus the Harrisburg Heat. We are ahead of the men's hockey